kilimo hai organic,
kilimo hai, kilimo hai,
kilimo hai organic, mambo natural, hakuna stress, no chemical, you don't worry, kila kitu fresh, organic, live longer, stronger, happier, yani natural, you know lifestyle. Kilimo what? Kilimo hai, kilimo what? Kilimo hai, kilimo hai uleta uhai, kila mtu akiwa fit furahi. Team natural food fresh, iko fine, niko fiti, yani strong na inatai. Niko fiti, yani strong na inatai.
tuko fiti, kilimo hai ndo inadai.
Kilimo hai organic, kilimo hai organic.
Of the challenges that we are going through. So essentially today is a symposium, county symposium, the first one, focusing on organic farming. And out of this one, we are hoping that when we come to agroecological, farming is going to be encouraged by this. So yesterday we had about 350 farmers joining us. Today we have 300 and again around 400 people, both exhibitors and those who are participating in different sessions. The session is organized in a kind of a forum, a discussion forums, where we have different experts looking at different issues around the organic farming and generally how we can encourage and see how we do our farming in a sustainable way. Because we know in our nation and Africa per se, one of the key challenges is good use of pesticides. It has been a big challenge in proper use of it, where we suspect maybe it is maybe causing some medical issues. And since we don't want to raise the organic medical bill, or what we can call a agricultural medical bill, that is why we want our farmers to understand how best can they be able to use their various methods of farming that are not going to utilize a lot of pesticides. And when they have to use pesticides, they use biodegradable pesticides that are not going to have hazardous effects to their health. Thank you.
What are the maybe benefits attributed to organic farming?
We know one thing I've said is that critical thing is to reduce what we can call agricultural medical bill. We don't want to raise agricultural medical bill. Maybe when I talk of agricultural medical bill, people may not realize what I'm talking about. But essentially, we are referring to diseases that may occur due to what we use in farming or chemical residues that are there on our various produce. So we have been having various activities around, making sure that our farmers are able to reduce the utilization of pesticides and see how do we do our farming in a sustainable way without using a lot of pesticides. We ensure that our environment is safe. The water we are taking, remember finally, even if water is coming from the rain, it is good to go through the farms and finally find us in the rivers. Thank you.
My name is Eustace Kiari. I work for Kenya Organic Agriculture Network, and today we are happy to have partnered with the County Government of Kirinyaga to organize the first agroecology symposium in the county, together with other partners. And the symposium has brought different stakeholders in the agriculture sector. We have input suppliers, we have farmers, we have extension providers, companies, and the idea of the symposium was to provide a platform where the different stakeholders can come and share ideas. Farmers can come and see some of the innovations in organic agriculture, organic products, and also see solutions for pest and disease management and also soil fertility.
Si kilimo tu cha kawaida, and it's not just a product, it's a lifestyle. is organic and organized, providing health and safe alternative to chemical pesticides and fertilizer. Kwa mazao bora na chakula tele kilicho na afya bila kemikali yoyote. Kilimo hai organic ndiyo msingi bora katika jamii ya leo na hata ya kesho. Kilimo hai organic is all about trust, quality and guarantee. Tunapatikana pia kwenye mtandao kwa www.kilimohaikenya.org. Kilimo Hai Organic.
Yes, I'm David Ochengoero. I work with Therapeutic Food Limited. I'm a nutritionist by profession. At Therapeutic Food Limited, we go organic. We have the farm inputs that are produced organically. Those are the products that we are using to make the food supplements. That one is used for health-related disease control in terms of prevention. We also use the same food supplements as a treatment of conditions and also management. So we have a number of health products that are organically produced. One of them is amazing blended oil. This one is specifically used for those who are having specific issues to do with indigestion, and it is very healthy in terms of ensuring that it makes someone have ingest healthy oils that are produced from organic products. We also have amazing vitamin A, which is a good for immunity booster. It also helps in boosting immunity for elderly, children, and also mothers who are lactating. It is a very good source because it's organically produced. So the next product that we are having is a special detoxifier. Here is specifically in helping our body to detoxify or to remove toxins that have accumulated over the time. It even makes work easier for the kidney because it attracts the chemicals that are being expelled through the kidney in ease. So this is one of the healthy drinks that we have. Next, we are having a special oil for those who are having issues with the nerve system. It is also good with a very good combination of different seed oils that is also having a lot of health benefits, including antioxidants. So this is Lemovit. So Lemovit specifically helps for those who are having issues with anemia and also people who are having issues with cancer. It's kind of a natural chemotherapy that helps in retarding the growth of cancer cells, especially for those who are having cancer or those who are having fibroids or tumor growth. Then we have a product that is called Provit. Provit is specifically designed for elderly who are ailing from a condition of kidney, prostate cancer. So it is always very good for those who are having prostate cancer in terms of management of cancer. Then we have an antidote. Antidote is a product that is also formulated to help.
My name is Sam Derito, the Executive Director and the founder of Agro Biointensive Agriculture of Kenya, an non-government organization based in Thika. And our work is to work with the communities, especially farming communities, and helping them to grow food using very sustainable methods, that is agroecological systems, narrowing it down to the grow biointensive techniques. We are here at Kirinyaga, the first symposium here at Kirinyaga, and we are showcasing just a few of our technologies that we teach our farmers. We are members of KOAN, and thanks to KOAN for inviting us to showcase what we do at GBM. Here we have a few products that we have brought, and one of the products is about soil, and this is normally our first step when we want to talk about agroecology, and we want to transition from conventional to agroecological practices. It's all about the soil building, and we talk about compost, which is the foundation of any agricultural practices, and then we bring other technologies just to help in amending the soils. Compost is for building, and the rest are for amending, like bokashi for amending the soils, like a frass from BSF is for amending the soils, from vermicomposting, for amending the soils, and so on and so forth. So build the soil first before you think about production. And then from there, we talk about agronomic practices. How do you now go to the other steps? The second step is to go to the farm and grow whatever crops that you want to grow after you have built your soils. So you have products here, and these are varieties of tomatoes, and we have at our center we have more than 50 varieties of rare tomatoes and other crops. And here we are showcasing just a few of cherry tomatoes, which are the original tomatoes that has now brought about the current F1 varieties. So all these are varieties that we are growing at GBIAC, and we want to accumulate the seeds so that we can start giving them out to the farmers. After that, we have value addition. We add value to whatever that we are growing at GBIAC. We want to add value to these tomatoes. We are adding value to our herbs. Here we have different types of herbs that we are adding value to. Lemongrass is one of them. So we have grown lots of lemongrass and also promoting them to the farmers. And then we do it into powder. So this powder, lemongrass. We also have hibiscus into the whole as a plant, but at the same time we have powder, and all this is just adding value so that the farmer or at GBIAC we can earn more instead of just selling the plant itself. We are very strong into seed saving, and the other side there we have seeds, the phytoorganisms and all that. And so we are helping farmers to create seed banks. We have one major seed bank at our center, but also helping farmers to create seed banks out there so that they can have access to their seeds anytime that they want to grow anything. But also, all these can also be affected by pests and diseases, and so we also help farmers to test their soil testings.
From Capi Limited. So we are here today. We are also participating in this KOAN event. We want to thank KOAN so much for being able to coordinate and bring together all organic partners, stakeholders together, to be able to promote organic agriculture in our beautiful country. So basically in Capi Limited, we are a company that is really dedicated to providing farmers with safe food, and we are trying to break that notion that people say organic products are expensive and they're not readily available and they are less effective, their efficacy is low. So we are saying that's just a notion, it's not true. We in Capi Limited, we are dedicated to providing solutions, alternative solutions to the conventional pesticides, and we have organic products that are very good, very effective, high efficacy levels, and they are affordable to the farmer. So for instance, this one is called BioPest Plus. BioPest Plus basically is an organic biopesticide. We use neem oil at 20% plus karanja oil at also 20% to make this product. The beauty about this product is that this product is broad spectrum. That means it works and eliminates all kinds of pests. It is broad spectrum. The another beauty of it is that this product, it has 1 day PHI. When you spray this product against pests, you spray today in the morning, in the evening you can harvest your product because it has zero residues. It leaves zero residues on your crop. So it's a very good, fantastic product, and it's very effective against all pests, including mites, FCM on avocado, Fascia mites on avocado, these products, BioPest Plus. Then we have another product here, it's called AgriPest Organic. Basically, AgriPest Organic is one of our we use top-notch technology. We have used a plant called Proton megalocoppus. In Kikuyu here they call it Mukinduri. So we extract the oil of that plant, the seeds of the plant, to formulate these products. The active ingredient is called megalo oil at 75%. So AgriPest Organic is a good product. It is also broad spectrum. Broad spectrum, that means it kills all pests. And the same way as BioPest Plus, it has very high efficacy levels against all pests. So it's a very good product. The beauty of it also, as I've said, the same as BioPest Plus, this product has 1-day PHI. When you spray today, even when you spray in the morning, in the evening you can just harvest your product. It leaves another point that it leaves 0 residues on your crops. So therefore it's a very good product for the export market. Something good, all our products are registered and certified. They are certified with High for the East African market and EcoCert for the international market. So they are certified, and any organic farmer is ready to can be able to use them. So that's the products we have for today, but we have another 3 products that they are not here today. We have another product, it's called Flower DS. Flower DS, we use pyrethrum. We get pyrethrum from Kenyan farmers. Then we extract the active ingredient, pyrethrins, in it. It's also broad spectrum, pure organic, 100% organic and natural, the same as AgriPest and BioPest Plus. Then we have another product that is called Flower Dust. Flower dust, farmers have had issues with soil-borne pests. Its active ingredient is same as pyrethrum, but it is in dust form. So it eliminates all soil-borne pests, including the pupa stages of pests like thrips, FCM, soil-borne pests like cutworms, soil-borne pests like all pupa stages of thrips. Then we have FCM, then termites also, cutworms, as I've said. So it's a very fantastic product. So basically in Kapi Limited, as I've said, we are providing alternatives that are safe to our farmers to use. Thank you so much.
Naitwa Resho kutoka Nyeri. Nimekuja hapa Kirinyaga kusomesha wakulima hii mambo ya kulima ndio ajue aone venye anaweza saidika kupitia zile vitu analimanga. Pengine tunaongeaga mambo ya variation. Na zile vitu tunalimaga kwa shamba zinasaidia binadamu, zinasaidia mifugo yetu. Kama hapa tuko na hii product tunaitaga Athis Ade. Inaitwa Athis Ade Care Joint. Hii ni dawa imetokana na seeds za marenge. Na seeds za marenge zinakuwaga na calcium iko juu kabisa. Sasa hii product inasaidia yule mtu ako na shida za magoti, kuumwa na mgongo, shida za arthritis, kama miguu yako inagada. Hii product inasaidia sana sana, na nikukunywa mtu anakunywa. Hii ukitaka ikusaidie, wale watu wanasemanga wakati wa baridi ikifika, sasa hata kutoka kwa nyumba inakuwa shida. Unaenda unashukua maji kirasi moja unashemsha. Maji ikishashemka, unashukua ile kijiko kidogo. Unashota hii dawa unaweka kwa ile maji, unakunywa unakunywa kwa muda wa siku 21. Hiyo shida yote ya baridi, shida ya arthritis, shida ya joint, hiyo shida yote inaisha. Kutoka hapo still tunatumia hii magada ya juu. Magada ya juu nayo ni mzuri sana kwa upande wa ng'ombe zetu. Kama uko na ng'ombe na unaona hiyo ng'ombe yako ako na uwezo wa kukuletea maziwa lita mingi, hii marege inaweza kukusaidia sana. Sababu ile nyasi tunapeanga wasaona haiongezi kitu kwa ng'ombe, lakini ng'ombe yako akizoea kutumia hii magada ya marenge inasaidia sana sana upande wa calcium. Sasa hii marenge ndio isaidie ng'ombe, unaenda unatoanisha. Unaenda unapiru hiyo gosi ya juu, unakausha. Ikishakauka ile kisiagi unasiagaga nayo mashakura ya ng'ombe, unashaganya. Kama ni dhara, unachukua dhara kiwango kidogo, unashaganya na hii magada ya marenge. Sasa kutoka hapo unaenda unawekea ng'ombe wako. After that unaona maziwa yako imeongezeka sana sana. Hii ni chakula ya ng'ombe na still itasaidia watu sana sana. Kutoka hapo tunauga tunasiaganga kutoka the main product, the marenge yenyewe. Ukitoa hii ngozi ya juu tumesema ni ya ng'ombe, hiyo mbegu nayo inasaidia kutengeneza hii dawa ya joint. Sasa kuna hii marenge yenyewe ndiyo inatengeneza hii product ya wanaume na kuweka mzuri sana. Wanaume wengine huku unaona mtu anafikisha miaka 50, sikia mtu anasema mimi sijui nguvu yangu ya kiume ilienda wapi, baki akitafutilia Viagra. Sisi tunasemaga Viagra ni hatari sana. Tunatakaga mtu aende ashike ile marenge ukishukua inasiagwa, ikishasiagwa tunakupatia hii KOAN imesaidia sana, na tumekutana na wakulima wengi sana, tumeitaka na wakulima wengi sana wa Kirinyaga, na tulikuwa tunaomba wakipanga ingine tukuje ndio tuisikie feedback zao za vile vitu tumewauzia huku. Sasa kwangu ukitaka kunifikia ama unataka product yoyote utanipata pale Nyeri town. Namba yangu ya simu ni 0726 528 624.
Majina yangu naitwa Edna Njoki kutoka Kirinyaga Organic Cooperative. Kuna product tuko nazo, tuko na pawpaw, tuko na sunflower oil, tuko na organic kale maize, tuko na organic porridge flour, arrowroot, tuko na pia pumpkins, banana wines, tuko na vegetables, tuko na organic foria na reference zake, tuko na even white meat ya sungula, we have coffee and then organic boosters. So tunaweza sema as in Kirinyaga, we as Kirinyaga Cooperative Society tunawakaribisha sana. Ofisi zetu ziko Kutus, na pia tunataka kushukuru KOAN kwa vile wamekuja kusaidia wakulima kwa ukulima bora yenye watu watumie chemicals, so ya organically pure.
Jina naitwa Dickson Kanyi kutoka Kirinyaga Organic Cooperative, na mimi ni mkulima sasa wa nyanya. Tunalima nyanya tukitumia organic farming. Tunatengeneza mbolea inaitwa bokash kwa sababu ya nutrition. Tukienda kwa sababu ya madawa tunapiga dawa ambayo imetengenezwa organically, na pia tuna mbolea ya foria ambayo tunaita mkombozi ambayo inafanya vizuri sana sasa kwa mimea. Sasa tunafanya mimea ambayo ni organically, haina chemical, na hiyo tunafanya bila kemikali yoyote. Sasa hii nyanya ni mzuri kwa mtu akiwa anakula, haina chemical yoyote, ili to reduce chances ya watu kukua na cancer. We reduce ili hata serikali siende gharama kuwa ina wagonjwa wa cancer. Tunahimiza kama watu wangeendelea na hii organic farming, tungekuwa na kesi dogo sana za cancer na other diseases related to food.
Jina yangu mimi naitwa Lawrence Megwe. Mimi ni mmoja wa Kirinyaga Organic Farming, na sana mimi niko kwa hii kampuni natengeneza hii wine ya madisi. Sana hii wine ya madisi imetengenezwa na banana na sugar na honey na yeast. Hii wine ni mzuri sana juu hata ukikunywa kama wewe unachukua picha, hii itakusaidia sana. Sana inaongeza, inakufanya usiwe mzee sana. Ina support hii magonjwa ina support magonjwa, alafu ina enhance mood. Yani kama ukikunywa mood yako inaenda juu. Na sana ukitumia hii haina side effect yoyote.
Mimi naitwa Elias Kalani, as you can see. I'm a youth. Nimekuja hapa symposium as a member of Kirinyaga Organic Cooperative. tumekuja hapa, as you can see guys, mimi niko na kampuni yangu sana sana wewe ambayo ina concentrate na animal. Tunatengeneza udder booster, as you can see here. This is the udder booster. Inasaidia sana udder booster na bado ni milk booster. Inasaidia ng'ombe produce maziwa mingi. On the other hand, iko na benefits zingine kama za enlarge the under. Bado inasaidia ng'ombe yako na recovery. Ikizaa ng'ombe yako ina recover haraka. Because iko na ni balanced diet, actually balanced diet. Hapa tumetumia organic things products, vitu kama terere, dengo na vitu kama blackjack ama mushege. Hizo ndizo vitu tumetumia hapa. Na once ng'ombe yako itumie hizi vitu, ina increase maziwa, bado ina increase vitability ya ng'ombe na palatability na kuwa kubwa, health bado ina fight na immune. Hii ni kitu iko tested na bado iko approved na KEBS. Imefanywa research na KARI na ndio maana tunauzia watu hapa. Naweza ambia farmers, especially farmers wenye wako around Kirinyaga, naweza emphasize watumie hii product yetu juu hii product ina maximize, unaweza kurecognize the maximum limit ng'ombe yako inaweza fikisha towards kutoa maziwa. Once uitumie ina maximize production ya maziwa yako na inafika limit yenye dairy mill haiwezi fika. So naweza emphasize kila farmer mwenye ananiona hapa anunue his product yetu. As you can see, contact yetu iko hapa. Ama ni 0115988421. Jeni mununua. Alafu kitu ingine naweza thanks serikali yetu na KOAN juu ya kutupea hii platform ya kumarket vitu zetu. Farmers wameweza kulearn more about them, wameweza kuzinunua, wamezitumia na wanasema ziko sawa. So bado naweza encourage watu tuende kwa organic, tuachane na hizi manini na organic zina affect watu sana. Magonjwa zimekuwa mingi, so watu wangu kujeni tufanye organic farming na tuta benefit.
I'm George Maina. Nafanya na selling cooperative here. We are doing the cooperative. Tukiwa in conjunction with KOAN. Tunauza hii mkombozi foliar. It's very good foliar for crops. Zikiwa dogo, zikiwa kubwa, it's so good. We are thankful because of our county. Hawa wametusaidia. Conjunction with KOAN wamekuja wametusaidia so that we can deliver this product to the farmers. It's a very good product. When you use it, matokeo ni mingi, yield ni mingi kabisa because of how good it is. Iko sawa, imedhibitishwa mpaka na KEBS. Iko sawa kabisa, imefanywa na KARI research. So it's a good foliar. Ukiitumia iko with a lot of yield to the farmers. Thank you.
Mimi naitwa Alex Moreithi. Mimi ndiye nasimamia kikundi tunayoita Super Ideal Farming Group, organic foliar fertilizers, ambapo sisi tuko na furaha sana tukiwa kwa hii exhibition tumeletewa na County Government of Kirinyaga with conjunction with KOAN. Tunafurahia sana kuwa kwa hii exhibition ambapo tuko na product zetu inaitwa Super Plus na tuko na ingine hapa inaitwa Ultimon ambayo ni booster ya Super Plus for trace elements. Ni foliar, organic foliar fertilizer, imetumika kwa muda sasa, imesaidia wakulima wetu sana in Kirinyaga to increase production. Karibuni sana, we are very happy with even our governor to bring us together in this point. Karibu sana. Thank you.
Francis from South Africa, and we deal with organic farming, and we are very happy for the KOAN organizing this event. This symposium we wish it to be organized now and then for our farmers to learn about how we do things without using chemical, and we normally deal with honey, organic honey. We deal with passion, lemon, we have pawpaw, we have pumpkin, we have the plantain banana, which we normally grow organically, na tunapendelea sana, tumefurahia sana kwa hii symposium, and we wish it to be organized now and then for our farmers to understand ile madhara iko kwa ndawa. Kwa sasa wote wakuje huwa wana embrace organic farming.
Mimi naitwa James Nyaga, natoka pande ya Moriduko, nasimamia pande ya Moriduko wa kulima. Na hapa tuko sasa sijui ya Farm Africa, wale wamekuja kutuelimisha mambo ya kilimo organic. Sisi pia wakati walianza kutufunza tuliona kweli kuna mahali tumekosea kwa mashamba yetu, vile tunalima vitu ambaye tunaweka mafertilizer bila hata kujua na iko na madhara. Tunaweka ndawa, tunapiga ndawa ile ambaye iko na madhara kwa miili yetu, kwa watoto wetu. Sasa wakati walitufunza mambo ya kulima hii kilimo organic, tuliona ni vizuri na tukafurahia hiyo. Pia tukaanza kufunza watu vile wanafaa kulima kilimo organic. Kama hii matunda, mimi bado sijaweka fertilizer. Nimelima kilimo organic, kuweka mbolea tu, na pia hii asali nimelima kilimo organic. Maana mahali nimepanda vitu sijaweka fertilizer, nimepanda hata sunflower na miti ingine na hii purpose seedlings, hiyo yote nimepanda juu ya nyuki ili wakitoa pollen na nectar wasitoa ile ambaye iko na mandawa. Sasa tumeendelea vizuri sana na tunaona watu kweli wanakubali kulima hiyo kilimo organic. Tunalima hiyo ili tuweze kupata mazao tosa kuliko kulima unalima sehemu kubwa na utoi mazao. Sasa hiyo inakuanga hasara kwetu sisi. So tumefurahia kukuwa na hii watu ya Farm Africa, na ndio tumekuja hapa ili tusome zaidi, tukisomeza wengine ndio tuweze kukuwa na environment nzuri iko poa ile ambayo inaweza kutuendeleza kimaisha. So hivyo ndivyo kama vile mwenzangu amesema, hata tukienda kwa mashamba tutapata tu hivyo. Na kuna wengi wamesoma na wakasema watakuja kusoma manyumbani kwetu. So hivyo ndivyo tunafanya sisi.
Kwa kuongezea sasa, tumejua madhara yenye mchanga inapata wakati tumeweka fertilizer mingi. So kuirudisha hali yake ya kawaida, tumejua ni kuweka manure sana na kuweka fertilizer kidogo, hata kama tuweke kidogo. Tena tumefunzwa maneno ya kutengeneza madawa yetu kwa hii symposium, kutengeneza madawa tu yenye haina kemikali yenye inaweza dhuru miili yetu. Na tena tumekuja kujua eti hata wakati tumetumia zile madawa na tumechuna vitu wakati zinaenda Nairobi ama zinaenda sehemu zingine, ni watoto wetu bado wanatumia zile vitu, makazini zetu wanatumia zile vitu. Kwa hivyo wakati wamepata magonjwa, sisi wenyewe tunakuwa involved in one way or the other. Sasa tunafurahia hii symposium kwetu inawanaiziwa ndio wakulima wengi wapate information na wakuwe waelimishwe ile madhara tunapatanga wakati tumetumia madawa mengi kukuza vitu zetu. Thank you.
Okay. We are Therapeutic Limited. Therapeutic Food Limited. We are located in Kandara, Kamurogo, Murang'a County. We do purely organic things, products from our farm inputs. We start from your farm. Once we start from your farm, we have amazing fertilizer, which is purely organic from farm, from just there within your farm. Kwa zile ng'ombe unafunga pale, zile mbuzi unafunga, and then we treat ile manure. After we treat the manure, tunaenda pale tunapanda nayo. Tukishapanda nayo, unakuja unaanza kupata mavuno. Hizi tumepanda kwa farm zetu na kwa wakulima wengine, those are yams, na pia kuna marenge hapa. Tukishavuna hizi vitu zote, tuko na foliars. Foliars ziko hapa. We have this one, tunaita soil conditioner. We treat your soil back to the origin.
mahali ilikuwa imeharibikiwa na zile synthetic fertilizers, tunairudisha inakuwa ile inafaa kuwa original one kama ile ya kule forest. Tunaweka hii soil conditioner kwa mchanga yako wakati unapalilia, na pia tunaweka soil enhancer ili tuna boost ile mchanga yako inakuwa quality mzuri, inakuwa na vile organisms zinafaa kuwa kwa mchanga, na ili inaisaidia ukipanda kitu inakimbia haraka. The reason tunaiita amazing soil enhancer kwa zile vitu inafanya is very amazing. Then kuna biological controller. Wakati mimea yako umeanza kufahamiwa na wadudu, unakuja pale unapiga hii. Biological controller is a purely from organic, na pia kuna dairy booster kwa ng'ombe wenye wako na ng'ombe zao pale. Hatutaki ukazipee kemikali. Kwa hivyo unakuja hapa unapea dairy booster, you improve maziwa, quality ya maziwa, pia quality ya nyama na pia digestion ya ile ng'ombe. Tunakuja hapa kuna zingine tunaita tumepackage kulingana na mfuko wako. Kuna ya 1 liter, kuna ya 5 liter, kuna ya 1 liter packaging, na kuna pia ya 5 liters. Then tuko na ya 20 liters yenye iko pale baadaye. Lakini kila kitu ukioda iko hapa na utaweza kuleta mahali huko. We deliver countrywide ukishaweka order yako. Asante sana na mko karibu sana.
Alison Jiro Mungai, nafanya na Therapeutic Foods Limited. Therapeutic Foods Limited tunatengeneza mafuta ya skin na nywele, the amazing skin and hair oil. Hii una apply kwa nywele, kwa wenye wako na shida ya nywele inakatika, the natural hairlines zinakatika, hustle for us ladies. Wenye wako pia na upara inasaidia the growth ya nywele. Inasaidia pia kuwa na puffy, strong and black hair is the best for the skin. Wenye wako na issue na skins, unasumbuliwa na acne, reaction, the allergies is the best, the hair and skin oils. Then we have this herbal tea. Inasaidia sana na kidney health na cleansing of the kidney health. It has rosemary, ginger, chamomile, lemongrass, and even the hibiscus. To add on that, we have the spices, all-in-one spices, and they are all herbal. These spices, it has ginger, turmeric, coriander, and even the rosemary. It's best kutumia kwa kitchen. We are based in Kamurugu, Kandara, Murang'a County. We welcome all the visitors and thank you.
Kilimo hai, organic.
Kilimo hai. Kilimo.
Naongelelea kutoka pande ya mkulima. The biggest success to market linkages. When you are entering into this space, when you begin as an intern, you would notice that the market for organic produce was a little shaky, but through collaboration between farmers, CSOs, and the local government, the county government or the national government, farmers have been able to be allocated space within markets where they can sell organic products. The demand is high and the supply has also increased. So wakulima saizi mko na mahali ya kuuza bidhaa zenyu organic. We are not worried anymore that the conventional side will give us competition. Right now people are eating organic and there is market. Number 2 would have to be, I'd say, the innovations. Before, getting organic products in Kenya was a little hard, but through collaborative research between CSOs, farmer groups and learning institutions, we've been able to get ready-made products. Sasa si lazima uende kwa shamba uanze kuchanganya mbolea. Sasa zingine you might need a quick solution and we have these products. Nilikuwa hata nimekuja nikocha kole ready-made products. But what I mean ni vitu kama hivi. Sawa. Si lazima uanze kuchanganya bokashi and then you wait for 2 weeks. Sometimes you might need a quick solution, especially if you are a commercial farmer. So you can just go to your nearest seller of these products Na ndio maana nasema we need digital platforms zenye zinaweza market vitu kama hizi, not only chemical fertilizers. We also have grassroots innovations like this. Najua ni nini? Inakaa chupa ya maji, but this is a pheromone trap. Unaona zile vitu tunaanikanga kwa shamba ndio zishike wadudu. Kwanza fruit fly. Yes, Drosophila. Hiyo tunatumia. Unalipa kaka sponge kwa hiyo ni pheromone, afu unaweka kwa maji. So zinaingia hapa zikidrop. Sawa. Things like this are what I'm talking about. We have ready-made products that are easy to get.
Thank you so much. Hard clap. Move on. Good.
Yes.
Very good. We can get we are late and get to more of this. Now, a few questions. Show your name and then your question and then today.
And from experience, what I've seen, and based on even what the CC told us, like devolution has not reached up to the county level. We may have the strategy in place, but since the national government doesn't have a policy, which is the legal framework and principles that guide us, we have strategies in place. For example, we are working in a youth group. We want to support youth grow in terms of agribusiness. And some of the business they are doing, they are organically produced products that are expensive and gives youth quick money. We don't have a policy of like youth in agribusiness. We have a strategy, and I swear by God, the national government never had a strategy in place. But GIZ facilitated a strategy in Kirinyaga County and the Western Region counties. Then the national government copied that strategy. What are things that we need to do so that we work closely with the national government to fast track some of the activities? Because we cannot just come up with a strategy and then they deny us that opportunity to use, because they say like that the initiators of the policy before we develop the strategy, domestication process. How do we fill that gap? Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Edward Otieno. Now, a quick concern is what was mentioned by the first speaker sitting at the middle. So when it comes to registration of these safe alternatives that we are talking about, how can we make it easy with the agency that is in charge or given the mandate of registering these biological products? Because we are being subjected to the same scrutiny that is applied to the chemicals. Yet we know the organic side we are providing products that are safe. So we should be given less time, duration to get the registration. Then probably the second one is about also still on the registration. You find that some time back, farmers were running out of cultivation of pawpaw, and currently now, because of the mealybug infestation, and currently it's also affecting coffee. Now you find that maybe if you register a product on mealybugs in pawpaw, so you are being forced again to register again mealybugs on coffee. So how can we remove that restriction? Thank you.
Roy kept on referring to me like I was a dinosaur. Kama mtu ambao hafai kuwa. Hebu niulize swali hili. Kuna wangapi ambao hapa wanaenda nyumbani madaktari? Wale si hadi makliniki ofisama mnasi. Ni daktari wala bado tunao daktari kupasua, kuchinja mtu, kutengeza vizuri. Na amefanya miaka zaidi ya miaka 30. Hebu niona mkaniona. Si ndio? Si kile ninachoona kutoka kwa hili swala langu ni comment na swali at the same time. Na ni muhimu kwa mwanzo ile county nao ile na national level tuelewe ni nini inatufanya tukakaa hapa. There is a reason why farmers are transitioning from conventional agriculture to kilimo hai ama kilimo agroecological. Kwanza jina langu ni Dr. Mukaya. Ukienda kwa YouTube ingiza jina, tumia mtandao wa jina kule, andika jina Dr. Organic Mukaya Peter, utaona video zangu nyingi, na hizi video nimefanya zaidi ya miaka 20 hivi, zipo pale mtandaoni. So swala langu na comment yangu, ndugu zangu, ni kwamba we are making progress. Dr. Ulu, when we started Dr. Kiari, listening 20 years ago, hatukuwa na mtu kwa county, hakukuwa na agroecology strategy. It looked very bad, and people asked me, watu waliniuliza, daktari, kweli wewe ni daktari uko registered kutibu watu? Na kama wao uko registered kutibu watu, unafanya nini kwa wakulima? Kichwa yako inafanya kazi sasa. Sasa sikiza, we need to make a link between the soil, the food and the diseases. Dr. Warui, okay. Mimi nafikiria tukifanya hivyo, tukiweza kwa mafikara ya wakulima kwanza, na wale wanakula chakula, the eaters, the consumers, waone hiyo connection and make a personal conviction of the link between the soil health, chakula, lishe bora, na hali ya afya. Naweza nikawaambia, nilipohitimu zaidi miaka 40 udaktari, kansa, magonjwa ya zinaa yalikuwa, Dr. Olo, there was hardly any cancer. Siku hizi kila Ijumaa, mimi natoka Nyambera County, ni majishi, cancer, complications of diabetes. Ama kuna mtu hapa mtu amekuwa na ugonjwa wa saratani, sio? If we could make a connection, jamani, between chakula na ile cost ya magonjwa kama kisukari, kama blood pressure, kama diabetes, tunahitaji kisukari zini diabetes. Na hapa ndani najua zaidi ya watu 25% hapa ndani sahihi. Nikiwa check, kuna watu zaidi ya robo hapa ndani ambao mko na diabetes. Kwanza sasa kuongea mambo ya diabetes sensitive. Blood pressure, zaidi ya nusu ya watu mko hapa ndani. Nikiwa check, nisimame huko niwa check kesho, half of you inside here have blood pressure and you don't even know. Why am I saying this? I am the only doctor in here, and not just a regular MO, a super qualified physician. Yeah? Alliance High School, University of Nairobi, Johns Hopkins, Harvard. Na niko hapa na wakulima. Kichwa wangu inafanya kazi.
Mapigeni makofi tu kwa Dr. Mukaya. Naona mnataka kupiga makofi.
Tulianza hii kazi na kila kitu. Watu walifikia we are not normal. But we made progress. Sasa hizo wengine tumenusu mstaafu kwenye Nyamira, tumeenda kwa county na nilifurahia. The reason why I come this meeting is to kutoka Nyamira mpaka hapa. Sababu ni county. Ili nisikie kutoka wakulima na wakulaji chakula wa Kirinyaga County. This is my second time here sir. Hii ni mara ya pili tu nimekuja Kirinyaga County. Na my message through the presenters ni ya kwamba hebu make the connection between ile madawa mnawekea kwa udongo kukuza mimea na hali ya afya yenu, na kwa nini Kirinyaga County is among the top leading counties with cancer among other diseases. Na mfikire tu you have some relatives who have died from cancer or diabetes complications or hypertension. This is my final thing. Make that connection and make a behavioral transition. It is more expensive to grow food using these harmful chemicals rather than using agroecology. Na uzuri, Dr. Ulu nimalizie, watu wameanza kujua hiyo connection. Mkifanya hiyo connection, nyinyi nyote mlio hapa na wengine wako nje, mtaambia watupilie hizo madawa zingine za kemikali, waanze kutumia bioproduct kama za my friend Robinson akwake mzee kufia. Kwa sababu hizo mbili ndio this is how nature works with human beings. We lived in tandem with nature. We supported microbials. But after Second World War, wazungu walikuja wakatupatia toxic chemicals. Instead of killing hizo dudu, let them go away. Yes. So, as an anchor for the entire 2-day symposium, from my experience of 40 years, yeah, I chose the path of difficulty. Not much money, but I'm comfortable. As you go to my website, you will see I own an eco lodge in Nyamira. In fact, for the Gen Zs, go to Organic Consumers Alliance, and the Organic Consumers Alliance, /ecom/. I'm not a poor person at all. Doing stuff agroecologically without a clinic, and yet I used to treat. And I know after this call during lunchtime, some people are going to come and ask me, Daktari, mimi niko na shida hii na hii na hii, nitafanyaje? Robinson, tutawaelezea. Kwa hivyo nimalizie Olu, I took a lot of time to say, because I came all the way to pass a message. It is possible, it is changing, we can grow food agroecologically, feed everyone, and most importantly, save our soil, save our food, make a profit, and live a long, healthy life like our grandmothers and our grandparents. Hallelujah.
Thank you so much. Daktari.
Education officers and a health department that help in promotion of healthy diet. So if we are not involving them, then we'll be having a lot of conflicting information whereby a section of public is trusting a different perspective in terms of the information that they are getting. So I'm asking the panelists that what strategies are we having in place to ensure that we integrate the nutrition department in various counties so that they are able to also voice and add into what we are also doing. Maybe just for the last question is that nutrition or the organic foods, there is a component in health that we are calling the nutraceuticals, where now we are using the organic foods as medicine. Instead of pharmaceutical, we are going nutraceutical, meaning you use the nutrients in organically produced food to cure or to treat and to prevent conditions or diseases. So that is the conversation we really need. In fact, even from the panel, we need someone from health to be tackling such questions.
I'm just a farmer, a small farmer, scale farmer. My major important thing which I wanted to know from these gentlemen and the ladies maybe who are giving us this information. I have been working all through, and when I was in school, I had noted something very important, that some insects can be used biologically to control other insects. And an example is the ladybird, which normally feeds on the level of the aphid. We would like in this symposium to know many more insects or even organisms which can feed on others biologically, so that our pockets will remain with some money. I have tried with that ladybird, and I noted when I really planted some beans, and they were affected by that by those aphids. I placed a few ladybirds, and I'm telling you, my harvest was perfect. For that matter, my dear comrades, let us have those biological organisms which we can use with the local product which we are making, and they cannot be lethal, as doctor has said. We know what is happening with chemicals which really produce dioxin, which are giving us what the cancer which is killing us. So my dear comrades, that's all we want. Then because the world is a global market, We know there are other countries which are growing some of these plants which are very important to our health. Why don't you get seeds from those places and they are brought here so that our health will even be improved more, and that way our country will become better? Thank you.
He said about building the health soil and also having different crops in the field. Most of Kirinyaga people are coffee farmers, and he said about diversity of planting different crops, but he don't say what crops you can plant with coffee, so that we may avoid this hazardous pesticides. So if you can advise on that, it can be of great help. Thank you.
I'm a reed farmer. My question goes directly to Gidi, as he called himself. What are you doing to make sure that these platforms you are telling us will give the right information? Because you know there are many platforms giving false information. And you can remember, like when Shabode was shot, we had something Joshua. The next day we had Dumo. So, what are you doing to make sure that we farmers will get the right information from the right platforms, so that we can do the right thing and do what is supposed to be done? Thank you.
Niruhusu niongee kwa kimombo hapa, kwa Kiingereza niseme ya kwamba the right to have nutrient-dense food is one of the issues that we encompass when we are talking about the right to food. We are eating empty food, I agree with you. Na ndio Dr. Mukaya na vile nilieleza nikasema ya kwamba what you grow, how you eat it determine how nutritious your food is. Hapa tutaongea mambo ya healthy, healthy food. Healthy food is food that has got no chemicals in terms of residues, but pia that food need to be nutritive. Kuna kitabu tuliandika na daktari ilikuwa tukilaunch ile soil atlas, na pia muende pale kwa root food .co.ke. Root ni ile ROUT. Muangalie hicho kitabu kinaitwa soil atlas. Kuna section moja ambayo inaonyesha ya kwamba rotuba iliko kwa mchanga inaweza kuchangia nutrients ile hicho chakula kina mine. In terms of the availability of nutrients in food, it depends on what it mines or what it gets from the soil. So the healthier your soil is, na mkumbuke tukiongea mambo ya mchanga kuwa healthy, tunaangalia mambo matatu: structure ya mchanga, vile umbo wa mchanga huko, nutrients, that's the chemistry, na biolojia. Pale kwa biolojia tunaongea the microbial components of the soil, the microbes. Hapa tunachangia kama bacteria, fungi, protozoa, the worms, all that inachangia the biology. Kwa hivyo tukiongea health tunaongea mambo kama matatu. Tunataka deep soil ambayo hapa Kirinyaga hamna shida sana. Hiyo ndio physical, the physics element, the structure of the soil. Tunaongea the chemistry, which is about the nutrients, the nutrients, that is the NPK and the microelements, ambazo zinachangia kuwa availability, na biolojia. Biolojia inachangia how available are these, how can they be made available to the plant iweze kuipata. Most of them hazipatikani na mmea haiwezi kumaini hizo nutrients, so they are locked, they are not available. Na ndio tunaweka ukiwa biology mzuri kama fungi, the mycorrhiza zinachangia, zikiendea hiyo high fiber zinachangia hiyo nutrients kuwa available kwa mmea. Hilo ni somo la siku nyingine. Kwa hivyo ningetaka kutangulia amesema hapo karatasi ama that writer kwa soil atlas for Kenya inaonyesha vile hizo nutrients ikiwa kwa mchanga zinakuwa available kwa plant. Na ndio sasa kumekuwa na hii kwa industry, kuna what they are called biofortification. Our food is empty, lazima iongezwe nini? Hayo madini, hizo nutrients ambazo zimepotea. Yeah? Ukienda hospitali unaambiwa mweke watoto then na mama akiwa mjamzito the following what? Acid. My friend, all this we can get them from our food. Initially, salmon, nini, samaki, hizo vitu zote. So naitikiana na wewe kabisa. Nilikuwa kuchangia. Please ni allow mwenyekiti niongee nijibu ule rafiki yangu. Ameongea mambo ya coffee. My brother, lile jambo limekuwa mbaya sana ni kumix conventional farming. Coffee ililetwa from conventional practice as a industrial crop. Na wale walifunzwa zamani walisoma hata sisi vile tulifunzwa university, hamukuwa mnatakiwa mpande any other crop. Lakini it's a false extension message. And Brazil, their coffee is integrated with so many crops. Yeah? Hata zingine zinatoka kwa plantation taraba zinamixiwa, you know, they mix coffee. Na ndio tunasema sasa in the current extension practice ambayo tuko nayo, hata tunatumia sasa hatuweki fertilizer sana, tunasema you mix. Nataka kuambia kitu kingine na nimefurahia yule mkulima ambaye alisema aliweka ladybugs. Tafadhali wacha kutegemea yule extension officer amefunzwa kule shule from a package was designed kwa ule mtu alikuwa anataka kuweka kupiga fertilizer, kupiga dawa zao za kupunguza magonjwa. Anasawa ya kwamba unaweza tumia agroecology practices and bio inputs in your coffee. Sasa ningetaka kusema ya kwamba vile mwenzetu alifanya utafiti. Utafiti lazima ufanywe kule kwa lab. Tuko na ile shamba lako likuwe ni ya lab ya uhai. I'm getting challenge translating, but I want you to understand. Fanya research yako mwenyewe, ina maana utaona ule mmea unafanya unaharibu mazao ya coffee. Na usiogope. Coffee ni yako, si ya mtia extension officer. Juu walikuwa wanaweza sana. Wanawaambia please don't plant. We are discouraging that to the highest level. Please, kama ule mkulima alifanya ladybug, kama angepiga toxic input kwa mmea wake, sasa zile ladybug nisaidia mboga zake. Ikatoa afya. Pia hata wewe. Panda maharagwe, weka compost, usidanganye lazima weke sijui NPK, sijui fertilizer mnaambiwa. Fanya utafiti, ongea na sisi tutafutie shabodaya, it's a very good mycorrhizal ni fungo ambayo itasaidia hizo nutrients ikuwe unlocked from the compost na kwa mchanga. Sawa? Asante.
Yeah, the issue about domestication. I don't know the details of this case from Siaya, and I know that there's usually different interpretations on what, when we say agriculture is devolved, what does it mean? Because for me, my reading of the Constitution is, if it's devolved, then it's the responsibility of the counties, and whether there is no national government guidance or policy, you can go ahead and work in that area. And I think the fact that Muranga was able to develop their own agroecology policy and law, even without the national agroecology strategy, is testament to that. If it's in the general area of agriculture which is devolved, you can go ahead. Then the national government can later on, come up with the overall policy, which you then have to align to. But yeah, I mean, if you talk to people from the national government, they'll tell you something different. So, I mean, it depends on how you interpret what devolution is. The aspect of, support regulations, especially with biopesticide. Yes, I think those who work in this area, innovators, entrepreneurs, face a lot of challenges, and I already talked about this. The process of certification, regulation, there's a lot of challenges. The guidelines are not clear, and when we had a discussion with some of these regulators like the PCPB, KEBS, KWS, now for example if you're registering anything that has bacteria, you have to go to KWS and you have to pay. I think the access fee based on the access and benefit sharing regulations that just came, you have to pay like 500,000 if you're dealing with products that contain bacteria, live, products and things like that. So this means that those who want to get into this sector are facing a lot of challenges that conventional, agriculture or products are not facing. Of course, one of the excuses that they say is it's still a new area, they are still exploring, so they are yet to adapt. But I think we need to push for regularization of this sector to ensure that we have more of these products on the market. We allow our farmers to have alternatives. There are also challenges, for example, with taxation. So we also had KRA come explain to us the different categories. So you have some products, for example, that have dual purpose. So it's both fertilizer and it's foliar spray, for example. And for KRA, they say it becomes difficult because the way they have categorized some of these products does not align with how we in this sector categorize them. And a lot of times, KRA is only interested in revenue. For them, their mandate is mainly to get as much revenue as possible, not really about enhancing productivity, which then is the responsibility of the parent ministry of agriculture. So a lot of times KRA will send you back to your ministry to say, well, tell your ministry to look at the categorization and give a policy opinion to KRA on how to do this categorization. So there are a lot of challenges around this, and I think we've identified that, and we're trying to at least solve some of them through dialogue, engagement, and so on. I agree with Mukaya and the other one who asked about linking what we're doing with health, agroecology and health, soils and health and food. And that's why agroecology, like I said, it's not about only agriculture or production. It has connections to health, the food that we eat, safe from one sector to the other. Thank you very much.
So I'll be very quick for the question. I think if I got it right, Lisa, what can we do to ensure that these platforms give the right information? So number one, sawa, mkulima si mtu wa kumpelekea information pekee. They are the biggest source of farming information. Why? Junior ndo wanashindana kwa shamba kila siku. Yes, they might not know the scientific terms that hii mdudu inaitwa absoluta, but wako na kajina wanaipea, and they are the ones who know about the behavior, so they are the ones who should be the primary source of knowledge. So, number two, kwa hii digital platform, it must be research based. Sawa. Mkulima kishapeana information, sasa hapa ndio madaktari kama hao wanaingia. Sawa. Kwa element ya research. Hizi bioproducts, seti mtu aliunda tu kusaidiwa na wakulima alafu zikaenda zikauzwa. They did research on it and made sure it works. Sawa. That's where we have to link up farmers, NGOs na learning institutions kwa hii mambo ya research. Then number three, it must be participatory. And nikisema participatory, when I say participatory, I mean it must involve everyone. Involve mkulima, involve researcher, involve mtu wa serikali. Apart from that, kuna a very important aspect by the umangelea medical practitioners,
nutritionists na watu wamesomea sana the consumer side of agroecology. They need to be there when we are creating these digital platforms. Tukitoa hii digital platform ama when we release it to the farmer, it is holistic. It cover every aspect that we wanted to look at. Then last but not least, the information for your digital platform, it must be environmentally friendly. Sawa. The production methods zenye tutakuwa tunafundisha wakulima tuisimu ziwe za kuhifadhi mazingira. And number 2, they must have indigenous knowledge. They must incorporate indigenous knowledge. Kuna ile knowledge ya mababu zetu ile walikuwa wanatumia kwa shamba, si ndio? Kuna venye mababu zetu walikuwa wanaweka nyuki, kuna venye mababu zetu walikuwa wanaweka ng'ombe, kuna venye walikuwa wanapanda mboga. All we need to do is improve it kidogo. Sisi tunaisahau ama tunaitoa. We just need to improve it kidogo, and that is how we ensure that these digital platforms share the right information. Tumekujibu vizuri?
Good, asanteni sana. Nafikiri ni vizuri tuwapigie makofi kwa hiyo session na majibu. Kwa as we speak you agri-nutrition, you know, the two departments. I know some counties had already started this. You hear county action plans. Somebody talked about this document. There are quite many. The nutrition, I think, strategy, national, and how they are all linking and talking to each other. So I think we are still some steps to go in terms of this, because with health, as somebody has said, hata wangekuwa labda wameketi na nyinyi hapa. But anybody else, and thank you so much for the response. Anybody else who has this question, and this is an opportunity. Of course, we may not have the panelists as they are here. Maybe in a symposium again. If you have this one question, you say, apana, as the food is coming, I need to
organic. There's a problem.
Kilimo hai, organic.
Kilimo
hai. Let's say from the ground, I'm a farmer. Affected when I'm changing from synthetic to the organic, because one, maybe the soil is, what's the percentage of the dead soil, or what's the damage, what's the percentage. Then we are changing, but your neighbor is not changing. So when you change and you prevent, like when there was COVID-19, we were told that you wash your hands and then you put the mask. That's the preventive measure. But when you come to the real ground in the soil and in the farm, you have to prevent. That's the thing I have seen. It is about 90%. You have talked about the preventive measures, not the curative measures. Then, and your product is, your neighbor has the drips, or the other, the drips is the one which is practically coming from one plant to the other. And we have me, I'm a coffee farmer, when you come to the leaf rust and you want to do preventive, and your neighbor has the SL type, he has the leaf rust, which even a dog passes between, you are affected. Then what measures as agroecology taking for that measures from preventing? Your neighbor he is very resistant to the change, by the way. And you are now changing up to those people. How are you getting that solution to that one who want to change, and the others, they are very resistant to change? And you have said very well, this change is for the next generation, and we are here. What measures can you put emergency so that we go direct to the organic farming? Thank you.
Mimi ni mkulima wa organic. Swali yangu ni fupi sana, ninauliza kama kunawezekana tupimiwe mchanga yetu, halafu tuletewe madawa ya kuchenji hiyo mchanga, halafu madawa ya organic ya kuja karibu na sisi. Na kwa hivyo mimi nakaa Kirinyaga, kama mnaleta Kirinyaga niko karibu. Wale wa Kembembe, Kutus, Kerogoya tuletewe karibu. Asante sana.
Teresia Kimani from Murang'a. Swali langu liko kwa researcher. Nimekuwa mkulima wa organic, lakini challenge yenye tuko nayo ni moja. Unapata dawa zenye tumefunzwa zinafanya tuseme kama kwa season 2. Season ya 3 unapo apply inakosa kufanya kabisa. Unapata iko sasa 50-50. Je, mmejitayarisha nyinyi kama researcher in case hii ikikataa tuko na nyingine, ama bado tutakuwa tunakosa kupata harvest vile inafaa kwa sababu yani wadudu wamezoea ile dawa?
I do tree seedlings and a farm known as Mombi Tree Nursery. So we have talked so much and we have decided so much. Now, how are we going to throw it to the government? Because government knows banned chemicals, it knows pesticides which are banned, and we are using a lot of budget in mitigating the diseases which have been caused by these banned pesticides. So I think as an organization, I don't know whether it's KOAN or which, we need to rob it from the representatives we have on the ground so that those banned chemicals can be removed from the shelves. Thank you so much.
We are introducing other crops so that we enhance production per unit area and we avoid competition, crops that don't compete from each other. We are synergistic in terms of relationship. So vile tungeomba ni ya kwamba around the crop, I mean shamba yako, you can also do a boundary crop that breaks the continuity of your coffee to the other coffee farm. Kwa hivyo pale unaweza break, na ukibreak wale wadudu maybe wanakuwa shared by coffee in the two farms, umeweka barrier. Tena hii break also mix. Wengine tunasemaga wengine wanapanda kitunguu. Hii kama uti, ni ya majani. Unaweza kuwa unazipanda, unaweza weka hata kama ni desmodium ya mifugo yako, unaweza weka dhara. Do a barrier. Ile tunasema tutaki ukiangalia crop yako. I don't know what you are going to do for the rice. Sorry for that. That's a challenge for me. But nikiangalia coffee unaweza fanya hiyo kind of a break crop and then hapa ndani unaweza intercrop. Na tumesema we are doing adaptive farming. Ile ya practice. Ukiona inafanya una adopt hiyo. We don't have a blanket solution. Nyinyi wakulima ndio sasa muelewe mbinu ile utatumia ndio uweze kujua ni crop gani. Lakini jibu langu ni ya kwamba do a barrier. Sasa then pande nyingine sasa uanze kufanya the kind of farming that is ni kilimo ekolojia. My rafiki yangu madam ule umesema resistance ya wadudu wana resist madawa, ni kweli. Hilo ni changamoto. Kwanza madawa za magonjwa. Nimeinteract na wakulima wa viazi sana. Mimi nimekuwa ndani upande wa Nakuru. Na nimeongea na wakulima wa viazi na wanasema wametumia madawa kwa viazi kwa fungal diseases na madawa yamekuwa resistant. Sasa hapo ndio tunataka tuanze withdraw. Change. Kwa hiyo season au mwaka wachana viazi. Go for another crop. Fanya crop rotation ndio uweze kubadilisha hata the load ya magonjwa na wadudu kwa hayo mashamba yako. Please also integrate nasema na kama wengine vile naona siku wanafanya wakipanda viazi wanafanya boundary na hayo ile kile kitunguu cha majani, na at the end of it unaona load ya pest inaweza kureduce. Wanafanya intercropping, wapande chakula kimoja. Hata kama utapanda plot iko na viazi, intercrop na maharagwe, kuingia kwingine another crop and then usirotate tena kwa season nyingine. Isiyo hata una diversify risk. Ile risk ya mmea mmoja ukiona na ugonjwa kwa sababu unapoteza, utaenda mpaka uone shamba yako imeweza kuwa resilient, imeweza kuvumilia hayo magonjwa na wadudu ikuwe resistant, because maybe ule mdudu alikuwa anabadilika na mmea utakuwa resistant hayo. Hiyo ni shida ya monocropping, kupanda mmea mmoja year in year out. Kuna hiyo mambo ya withdrawal of pesticides, zile kemikali chungu, ndugu yangu umesema ni kweli. And I think hata watu wana doubt. Jana Minister wa Kilimo Mutahi ame-announce withdrawal of 77 active ingredients. Madawa, ile kemikali ambayo kwa madawa haya 77 zimekuwa withdrawn. Hiyo imekuja from the highest level kwa Ministry of Agriculture. Kwa hivyo tunafurahi, tunachunguza hiyo statement, tuielewe vizuri, lakini we need to commend the government for this step. Ni mara ya kwanza tumeona government imechukua step kama hiyo, na tumekuwa tukipush sisi kama Root Food Initiative, tumekuwa tukipush sana kwa serikali kutoa haya madawa kwa soko. So tukiona hili jambo kutoka kwa upande wa serikali tunafurahia na tunapongeza serikali kwa hayo jambo. So we hope hii mambo itaendelea na zifike ile 300 ambazo tunajua ziko kwa soko ambazo tunatolewa. So let's hope hii mambo itaendelea kwa haya madawa.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I want to agree with Dr. here. So huwezi tumia tu dawa because it's bio-based. That's why it's called integrated. That you use all these different approaches. They work in combination. The other thing someone asked a very interesting question. How do you convince your neighbor who is not convinced yet to join whatever it is you're doing? 3 seasons, you used a strategy, imefanya, go share with them. If your farm is working, convert your farm into a demo farm. Invite others to come see what you're doing. Go learn somewhere else, because that's how you spread you spread technology, you spread knowledge and information. So that is critical, that we need to create a movement. And I think that also goes to advocacy. How do you, for example, engage with the county government wherever you are? So one way could be that if you're organic farmers, you're practicing agroecology, you could join together into cooperatives. I was happy I saw there's a Kirinyaga cooperative, organic cooperative that is exhibiting some here. So bringing those who are doing similar things together means that you have a bigger voice. It's easier to approach the government when you are a cooperative, a society, than kwenda peke yako that I'm a farmer and wewe mtu mmoja. See, the government wants votes, so if you are a big group, chances are you will be listened to than if you're acting alone. So try to form cooperative societies, because then that gives you a bigger voice. Yeah, and of course lobbying. Sometimes, for example, when they go around your counties na wanasema there's that budgeting process, wameita mkutano mahali, a lot of us don't go there. But let me give you an example. I think it was in Kakamega or somewhere there that the governor started introducing organic fertilizers as part of the subsidies, because a few farmers said during the public participation that they want organic fertilizers. And you know, by law, when farmers during those public participation say they want something, it has to be recorded, and then the county has to say, how did you deal with this comment that farmers say? So that came out during the public participation, that some farmers say they wanted organic fertilizers to be part of the subsidies, which usually is just synthetic fertilizer, and they introduced that. So don't ignore some of these things when we say let your voice be heard in public participation. You never know. It could be that the problem that you're dealing with will get picked. And sometimes most of our policymakers, labda tunawachukulia kwamba they know everything. A lot of them don't know everything. So when you go there and you have an idea and you voice it, maybe they will pick it. And you'll never know. That might be the next big project that the county or the government funds. So engage in these public or policy making processes. Thank you.
Good. Anything still moving?
But I think everything has been covered.
I think so. Good, thank you so much. I think we will stop there. That's your questions. And I think also the contacts for sure. They have seen what they're doing. You can follow them up. You know, either in the tent or by their contacts where they are working. And I would like to have Anjali coming over. If you don't mind, very and James to you as a small consultation. Asanteni sana, simameni juu, mnyoshe miguu na muwe na break 30 minutes. It will be announced to you what is the next step. Asanteni sana, thank you so much. Lakini pia tujipigie makofi sisi wenyewe. I think we have done a good job, patience, maswali. I think nimeambiwa 30 minutes break. It will be announced probably officially outside there.
Team natural food fresh, go fine, niko fiti, yani strong na inadai. Niko fiti, yani strong na inadai. Tuko fiti, kilimo high na inadai. Kilimo high, organic. Mambo natural, hakuna stress. No chemical, you don't worry. Kila kitu fresh, organic. Live longer, stronger, happier. Yani natural, you know lifestyle. Kilimo what?
Kama wakulima, juu mambo yote tulisomeshwa na tukauliza maswali halafu tukaambiwa vile tutafanya.
Kuna jambo moja unaweza sema ukienda nyumbani leo, kuna kitu utapeleka nyumbani.
Kitu nitapeleka nyumbani, nitawaambia wale wako huko, tutafuata mafunzo tulifunzwa juu ya kulima organic, juu mili yetu iwe na afya bora.
Very good. Makofi kote ya. Mili yetu iwe na afya bora. Naona kina mama.
Nimetoka site za Kagumo na niko kwa kikundi ya hii Kirinyaga Organic na tunafanya kuna CIBCDO ingine tuko nayo ya mountain green avocado. We do avocado and we are doing organic, we are practicing organic. And then there is this other thing we learned yesterday about the Dutch pyramid, where you go deciding if you try this one, if it is not working, you go to the next level, you use the chemical at the last minute.
Very good. Asante sana Charity, makofi kwa Charity.
Unaweza tumia dawa, tumia pest. Kuna ile badi kunaiweka inakula inakuwa kwa mboso.
Very good. Asante sana, makofi kwa Esther. Unaona kila mama wali.
Nimefurahi sana kuwa hapa. Jana nilisoma mambo mengi sana. Nilisoma habari ya kulima, agroecological. Sasa nikaona si vizuri kutumia chemicals na nikasoma vizuri ati ukianza kulima kwa shamba hata ikiwa nimetumia chemicals naweza tu enda polepole, naweza anzia polepole nitumie hii agroecology. Sasa nikaona hata ikiwa my neighbor is not using the chemicals and me I'm practicing agroecology, naweza kwa shamba yangu naweza gawanya, isiweke tu kila, ikiwa hata ni shamba ya kahawa naweza panda hii napier grass huko kwa fence ili isiwie ile wadudu wako kwa shamba yake kuza kwa shamba yangu. Na daktari hapa akatufunza lazima tuwe tunaanzia huko kwa mkulima, unaanzia kwa mkulima, tunaenda kwa consumers. Mimi hata ukikaa huko Nairobi, kama sasa yeye akai Nairobi, anakaa kwa ushago, anajua hata akikaa huko nimuletee tomatoes na nimelima na chemicals, hata yeye atakuwa affected. Kwa hivyo tunaanzia kwa mkulima, tunaenda kwa consumers, alafu tunaenda hivyo zote.
Cooperative. I learned about Shabodaya from Dr. Waroe. It's a fertilizer which you can use for beans. I think that is one important thing in the summer jana, and I've practiced that using that Shabodaya. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
In the immediate effect.
Thank you so much.
I'm one of the lead farmers, and yesterday I learned and I came to realize that if a farmer wants to make the best profits, embracing the use of agroecology farming, that is organic farming, it will mitigate against use of whatever he has earned from the farming with the hospital bills. Another thing is that we go and tell our neighbors, our fellow farmers, that organic farming is the way to go. And if all farmers can embrace the farming, the consumers will realize that the products being brought to the market, because they have been grown without use of chemicals or pesticides, they will even buy higher. In actual fact, if you go to some of the supermarkets, the products which are produced organically are fetching higher prices.
Thank you so much, Makofi.
Yesterday I learned when we use digital inatusaidia sana, because unaweza jua, you can predict, unajue whether you will be living wakati gani, and hiyo inasaidia sana kuprogram vile unaweza rima. Thank you so much.
Okay, many things. First, kitu ya muhimu ya kwamba wakulima ni watu werevu. Wakulima ni watu werevu na ni wasayansi, na wanajua kile wanachotaka. Hawezi kudanganya mkulima. Unaweza mdanganya mara moja, lakini amejua. Yeah, very very important. Hata mimi ni mkulima wa Gairoi. Huko kwenye Mila niko na shamba yangu, nimekatana, kuna ndizi, kuna mimea mbalimbali na herbs. Yeah, wale wako na interest tutaongea baadaye. Hata kama ni daktari, vile vile I practice what I preach. Mimi ni mkulima na nimesoma mambo mengi kutoka kwa wakulima wale wengine jirani kama nyinyi ambao hawakusoma sana, lakini they are practical. Mkulima is practical na ni sayansi. Ya pili, si anasema kitu muhimu sana. Boss, anasema kitu muhimu. Mkulima anafuata soko. Mkulima si mjinga. Yote miwili. Anataka lishe bora na anataka pesa mfuko. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu hata yeye kuna mahitaji ya shule, ya watoto, ya maisha ya kuishi. Kwa hivyo jana nilipiga hilo. Na hapo Kirinyaga tutakuja kufanya benchmarking. Nyamira, kwingine kwa Mwizi na nyinyi mko mbele kuunga agroecology. Kwa hivyo kifupi, boss. Excellent facilitator huyu jamaa. Anajua kazi yake. Ni mzee waka. Shukrani.
Okay, naona tuko sawa. So, kama vile ambavyo nimesema, kwa majina naitwa Samson Kiru Ngugi. Nafanya kazi na shirika linalojulikana kama Slow Food Kenya. Wengi huwa wanauliza kwa nini ni slow. Ni maswali pia nyinyi mnajiuliza. In fact, slow food inamaanisha kinyume cha fast food. Wangapi wanajua fast food? nyinyi wote mnajua fast food, si kweli? Na tunajua kazi ya fast food. Are you going to remain healthy eating fast food? Fast food ni junk food, si ndio? So, and the reverse is true. So, ukikula slow food, you're going to remain healthy. Si kweli? Nasema slow food, tunakuwa na slow life and slow day. So, ukuvi kesho kama unakula slow food. So, kwa sasa, thank you KOAN and the organizers, and nimesikia Dr. Organic ambaye tunamuita Dr. Mokaya amesema kuwa kazi ya mkulima ni mbili, ni lishe na soko, si kweli? So today ama kwa sasa mimi nachukua nafasi hii kuongelea kitu ambacho kinachojulikana kama stimulating local agroecology markets. Hii ni kwa sababu baada ya kulima na kukula, kwa tunafikiria pesa. Alisikia siku hizi wakisema sio pesa mfukoni, sasa ni pesa kwenye benki. Si kweli? Tunataka tukue na pesa ambazo zitoshei kwa mifuko, zikae kwenye benki, zizae matunda, and we continue thriving. Si sawa? Yes, so I don't know whether you can see the screen. Unaona kitu kule? Vile ambavyo nimeanza kusema, tumekuwa na shida nyingi ya kuhakikisha kuwa hizo pesa zimefika kwa mifuko na pia kuhakikisha hizo pesa zimefika kwenye benki. Si kweli? Na kwa hivyo leo tunaongelea kuhusu stimulating markets of the agroecology markets, and to me this means right conditions for farmers, consumers and the entrepreneurs kuhakikisha kuwa we are thriving within sustainable local food system. Nasema producing is not just selling, it's beyond that. And of course you can bear me witness when you go around here to buy something, unanunua baada ya kupewa uhondo wa maneno, si kweli? So and that's what that one means. So with me here niko na several strategies on how we can encourage agroecology markets. Na ya kwanza kabisa ile ambayo tunasema lazima we continue building agroecological production and supply. Now what do I mean with this? We need to continue encouraging our farmers to grow the products agroecologically. And inamaanisha kuwa we need to use all the agroecology principles and elements that are there kuhakikisha kuwa we have what we call agroecological products. So we need to continue encouraging farmers to do that. Otherwise, without that, hatutapata products kwa soko. So kweli. Number two, we need to continue building and supporting farmers network. Na hii nimeweka hapo something to do with the market groups. We need to continue bringing farmers together. I remember jana CC pia aliongea farmers need to be in cooperative. Si kweli? Now, but sasa, where do we start? As organization, nakuta so many organizations, they have farmer groups. Before now, they join maybe the bigger picture cooperatives. So you need to continue having these farmers to make sure that the resources are brought together and we have the products so that we can continue to take the produce to the market. Diversity or diversification production. Hii inamaanisha kuwa we need also to continue to talk to farmers. Wazidi kukua farmers ambao they have a lot of diversity in their farms. Right now, I think our competitors, they are dealing with what we call monocultures. Unakuta shamba mzima ni huku naonaga ni rice. Si ni kweli? Hakuna kitu kingine utapata pale. And what does that tell you? You will only harvest rice and eat rice. And what happens? We'll buy all other things that you need. So this means that you will get a lot of things from outside. And what does agroecology say? We have to make sure that vitu zenye tunakula zinafaa kutoka hapo within. Sawa sawa. So we need to diversify. Na hapa I think you can see nimesema rainbow market inamaanisha rainbow has got different colors. That's how our gardens, that's how our markets, that's how our plates should look like. Because those different colors means different nutrients. They mean different nutrients that helps our body to fight diseases and to make us also strong. We should also continue to improve access to inputs. Niona hapo nimeweka coffee mark. Because we need to continue working with them and also bringing all other organic fertilizers and input manufacturers together so that farmers can have access to these products so that we can continue to have these products ili tuendelee kuweza kuzalisha mazao. Number 2, we need to continue connecting farmers and markets. Farmer wakati mwingine ana produce agroecological products but hajui apeleke wapi. Many are the groups that we have trained the farmers so much. They have the products but wanatuuliza at the end of the day, nipeleke wapi mazao? Si ni kweli? And this is a big question. And what are you doing to connect these farmers to the market? For us, and also other organizations that are working in the market, for us, we create what we call the other market. These are organic farmers market, where we actually come up with a platform where farmers are able to bring the products to that particular space. And what happens is that when wanaleta those products, just like the way they are over there, they are able to meet with the consumers directly. Hakuna middleman. Whatever that farmers make, in comparison to what the other trader in the conventional markets gonna make, could be at the same price, but at the same time, farmer mwenye tunadili naye and earn a better profit margin. And na sio profit peke yake, ana earn your courage na that love, because anajua chenye amekupatia hakiendi kukuharibu, inaenda kukusaidia ili ukaweza kupigana na magonjwa na pia kukupa lishe bora. So the other thing is that we are trying also to come up with is something we call local food aggregation points. Farmers, when they are organized in groups, ukiangalia na uone kuwa they have lots of products, then you should come up with a way in which those products will be aggregated and taken to the market to make sure that these farmers, they earn that money, wameweka kwa mfuko, imetoshea na imezidi tuweze kupeleka pale kwenye bank. Then again, I think some people have always been asking us and others, are you taking these products to the market, to the supermarkets? And in the supermarket, many people don't know about organic or agroecological foods. This is because most of the farmers, they are not able to have the consistency. Wakati ambapo unapohitajika managu kilo fulani uko na chache ama completely you don't have it. So at the supermarket, they always want to have that consistency. The other thing is that, and I think some of us are doing that, the online platforms. We have to continue working with the online platforms because some of these farmers, they are in WhatsApp. Some of these consumers are in WhatsApp. And you can see everything is nowadays is advertised to televisions. But what do you see in the televisions? Most of the conventional and fast food, they do it very well. Why can't we do that with our organic indigenous foods? Is it possible? I think that's a question to all of us. Is it? So the other thing is that we should continue building relationships. And one kind of relationship over here that I normally give as an example is what we call Cooks Alliance in slow food. And Cooks Alliance, these are actually stand in between the farmer and the restaurants where we eat. Or we find those people who normally do the outside catering. Those people come pick the produce and they prepare for the consumers or for the congregants. And this actually creates a very good relationship because the cooks, they know where to pick these products, and that's an advantage to the farmer because the cooks will come and receive that. The other thing that we should also continue encouraging agroecological entrepreneurship, mainly to the young people. Some of the young people have been saying that we don't have credit, we don't have land, but we have brains, right? And how can we use that? We can actually take advantage of the production that these organic farmers or agroecological farmers produce, by making sure that we are able to pick this produce from them and now take to the end consumer. Could be there are those who do basket deliveries, and that way you may ask C-Chef and Siri with baskets, and also us. You are able to go pick these produce where they are, and you take them to where the end users are supposed to have. And you use technology, use WhatsApp. You know where these farmers are, you know what they produce, you register them in WhatsApp groups. You have the consumers, you register them. You have WhatsApp groups for the consumers. So the consumers will ask about certain products, and you post to the farmers WhatsApp group. The farmers will give you the product. So we should continue taking advantage of the technology. So the other thing is enhancing demand awareness, and this, you will bear with me, most of the time consumers are not aware. So consumer awareness is very key, and I know Dr. Organic is very key in this, because we need to make these consumers aware. And the questions are, when you find these products kwa organic market, wengine huuliza, how sure will I be that the products are organic? Are they safe for me to eat? See, those are the questions they ask. How do we answer these questions? And are we sure that we are selling them the organic products? One, the farmers, they must be sure. And that's what we make sure by making sure that we are making use of the PGS, because that's the power we have at the moment. And thanks to KOAN and no other organizations that are working in this, because that's the way to ensure that the consumers have what we call safe food. Yeah, the other thing is that we should continue promoting this product. Farmers, they are actually producing, but how will they market and promote their product? Sometimes it's very difficult, right? We need to know and to come up with ways in which we, as the organizations that are in this space, that we are able to promote these products, and also by eating them. We should not just promote. You promote by eating and saying or talking about these products, because you cannot promote what you don't know. The other thing is that there is the power of storytelling. And I normally say that when you meet these farmers, know the stories behind their produce. How do they produce? You should know, because you are the person who will tell this story. Or you will bring the consumers to hear about this story, and so that they will continue to buy. How will you change them from buying from conventional markets every time? You are going to change them with a story, because we don't just want to buy food. We need to buy food that we know where it comes from, produced by who and how. Those are the things that we need to keep checking. The other thing is that I think we need to have policies in place. And I remember that Dr. Olu here yesterday mentioned that we have very good policies in Kenya, but when it comes to implementation, then that's where we draw the line. Right now, many counties coming up what we call the agroecology policy. Congratulations to County Government of Kirinyaga for actually showing all the counties the way, and we are following. Nakuru iko hapo nyuma inafuatilia wanagetai, tunafuatilia hapo. But again, are we going to put these policies in the shelves? These are policies with issues also to do with markets for these farmers. The local agroecology markets we are talking about here today. And these again, we want that all the markets that we have, the national market, the county market, we need to have organic spaces. I'm trying to do that in Nakuru, because it is important to do that. People should know what's the difference by tasting and even getting used to that. Failure to do with that, then we have a problem. And somebody mentioned to me that with the time we should be having all the food in those markets to be safe for all of us. Because tufai kusema until now that there is no organic product maybe on a certain day in this national county market, then people will stop eating safe food. We need to make them available and affordable to make sure that we are all in good shape. So I don't want to say much because the time is very short. I want to say what Slow Food is looking forward to do. This is something we are already doing, but we are also looking forward to continue doing. One is to increase consumer demand of the agroecological products through awareness creation. And this is to all, not only to consumers. Number two, we want to increase the number of other markets and expand participatory guarantee system through development of farmer groups. We need to continue doing that if we want to expand. And also we don't want to do this alone. We need to work with KOAN and PELAM and all other networks that are in this space. Number three, we need to continue lobbying for allocation for spaces in public markets, for other markets and agroecological markets. We also need to increase our participation in policy processes to influence public and private sectors, support towards agroecological markets. Then again, we need to increase the investment in value addition of agroecological products because we need also to deal with issues to do with food waste and losses. And finally, we want to enhance opportunities for exchanges and information sharing between farmers and stakeholders involved in the market's development. So thank you very much for listening to me, and in case of any question, I'll be here for you. Asanteni sana.
My name is Elizabeth Wanjiko Maina. Nitajaribu kutumia Kiswahili na kama ni ngumu Kikuyu hapa na pale. Ningenda tuhote kunyitana na kuaraneria. Tutagawira na kaboni itabo Aga Khan Foundation na mwenene tulia tari gita kilia tuwekala. No, nitutewera na kaboni mwe mono itabo Frigoken na Kenana. Kaboni tutewera na rimya Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Ebu na Meru. Horoni wa gukuria rimi. So umuthi ndi haha kwaririria uhoro wa ndombe ujebe na uria mara ukaha uhoro wa agroecology. Koguo mo maundu tukwaririria umuthi na nigugeria guthii as fast as possible. So why does this conversation matter? Kwa nini tunahitaji kuongelelea mambo haya ya watu ambao ni vijana na mambo ya ukulima? Na zungumzia agroecology tunasema ni mambo ya ukulima, ni mambo pia ya gender ambayo saa zingine hatuzungumzii sana, wamama, vijana na wazee, na kuhakikisha kwamba watu wote wako pale. Tukiangalia saa hii about 70% ambayo ya population ni youth. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi tukaweza kuzungumza mambo haya bila kuingiza kwa hizi discussions. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu sana na tuhakikishe kwamba pia vijana wanaingizwa kwa mambo ya agriculture, kwa mambo ya policy decisions, na kuhakikisha kwamba tunazungumzia na wao mambo haya yote. Kwa hivyo tusipo engage youth na tuwa engage intentionally, tuwa engage meaningfully, hatutaweza kuhakikisha kwamba wako kwa mambo ya agroekolojia. Sasa vijana, na jana tulizungumzia kuhusu mambo ya dijitali, vile ambavyo inatumika. Vijana wakaweza kutuzungumzia vipi. Kwa hivyo nitasema kwamba tukifanya kazi na vijana, jambo la kwanza ni mambo ya kufunza wakulima, mambo ya mobilization na awareness. Kwa sababu vijana watazungumziana, tumeona kwa maandamano vile wanashikana. Nilikuwa natarajia kila mtu atakuja na mask leo. Ndio tunasema leo sisi wote tunavaa mask in unison. Kwa hivyo mnaona vile vijana wanashikana. The youth are aware. And tulikuwa tunasema with education provided in past governments is what we are seeing now. Kwa hivyo tukiweza kuleta vijana kwa mambo ya agroekolojia, wataweza kuzungumziana wao wenyewe kwa wenyewe na pia kwa wazee na kwa wazazi. Nafikiria sababu naona wazazi wangu wengi hapa, najua vijana wenu wana influence. Nawaona kwa TikTok mkicheza. Kwa hivyo there is that influence ambayo iko hapo tayari. Kuna mambo pia ya policy. Pengine tujiulize policy ambazo zimeandikwa sahihi, agroecology policy were the youth engaged? Were they part of these discussions? Because we are making decisions for the future and they are not part of it. And ndio maana unaona maandamano kila wakati. So we are speaking to maandamano ya bill, lakini pia tukikuja mambo ya agriculture, tunasema vijana hawataki kulima. Pengine tunafaa kujiuliza kwa nini hawataki kulima na ni nini tunaweza fanya tofauti. Na pia mambo ya knowledge and technology ni mambo ambayo pia si kama Aga Khan pengine tutengeneze curriculum from ECD to primary to tertiary in those different levels, because the green champions wale mliona jana wa Aga Khan wametoka National Youth Service, most of them, na wamesoma conventional agriculture. So then they come and then we are trying to change their mindset and say, this is not what you are taught. This is what is different. So I think we need to take it to the TVETs, we need to take it to ECD from child and play, we need to take it to primary schools, tukisema mambo ya CBC. That's the only way we'll be able to make it sustainable. Because farmers tumewafunza, wameelewa, sasa ni tuhakikishe kwamba vizazi vya sasa pia hao wanaweza. Na pia nimeona hizi ni enterprise green, hizi zote ziko hapa nje. Pengine tujiulize ni youth wangapi tumeona kwa hizo green enterprises. Because lazima tuonyeshe kwamba kilimo ina pesa, kwa sababu youth ni pesa. Youth sahi ni knowledge na pesa, na kumuonyesha kwamba anakuwa. Kwa hivyo tujaribu kuhakikisha kwamba kuna value chains ambazo ni youth led, ambazo ni za vijana na ambazo zitawasaidia. So wacha nizungumzie kidogo kile ambacho tumefanya kama Aga Khan hapa Kirinyaga kutoka February 2022. So tulikuwa tukifanya training of farmers, we call it African regenerative farming. So we started it hapa Kirinyaga and tulikuwa tukifanya na farmers. So far we've reached around 14,000 smallholder farmers, and then training, but then there is adopting. Naweza kuwa tumefunza wakulima lakini wanafanya mambo haya shamba yao, na tunazungumzia mambo pia kuweka ng'ombe, kuweka mbuzi, kuhakikisha kwamba wanaweza kupata chakula, mambo hayo yote. Na kwa hao ambao tumefunza mpaka sasa hii about 5,000 ndio ambao wanafanya mambo haya. Sababu ukisema ni composting, kila mkulima anafanya composting. What is it right composting? Mambo kuhakikisha kwamba wanafanya mambo yale kila wakati. Pia kuhakikisha kwamba tuko na modules. Kama Aga Khan tuna clear framework, tukisema tuko na hizo terms zote na mambo haya nilizungumziwa jana. Kuna yule anasema organic farming, kuna yule anasema regenerative farming, mwingine anaita conservation farming. Majina ni mengi, lakini ukienda kwa ground unapata ni mambo yale yanafanyika. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu tuhakikishe kwamba tukizungumzia mambo haya kwa mkulima, kwa kizungu tunasema let's demystify the language. Simplify it, na tunatumia modules ambazo tunaita SIMs. Na nitawapea link ambayo iko na mambo haya yote ambayo tunafanya kama Aga Khan. Tunaziita small integrated impactful modules ambazo tunatumia. Na pia tukihakikisha kwamba tunafanya kazi na kina mama, we are very intentional kuhakikisha kwamba at least 60% of our staff, of the farmers, of the people tuna engage na wao ni women. Because we need to bring women in these conversations. Sababu unapata ndio wako pale pia mashambani. Lakini pia tuna focus na mambo ya clean energy na water management. Siwezi nikasema mimi ni mkulima bila maji. Kwa hivyo tuna encourage farmers paka Kirinyaga, paka Kinango, tunasema kunanyesha kila wakati. But if we don't harvest rainwater, if we don't store water, we will not be able to do agriculture. Wakulima wengi unapata ukienda na kuna maji ya kunywa, kuna maji ya kufanya kazi ya nyumbani ndio, na ya kulima je? Itabidi atafute diesel pump, airushe kwa shamba, iweze kupiga maji. Lakini mvua ambayo ilinyesha jana yote iliweza kuteremka. lakini tunasema kwa sababu hapa kwetu kunanyesha, hatuweki maji. Lakini mtakubaliana na mimi kwamba we have seen rivers that have never dry up. So it's time to take action, tuhakikishe kwamba tunafanya hivyo. Kwa hivyo tuna encourage farmers na kuwafunza na kuwasupport na kufanya pamoja kuinstall rainwater harvesting ponds. Na pia tumework na over 40 households kuinstall 40 biogas units, because it starts also with the health. We say there's cancer, and I agree with Dr. because of the foods we are eating. But when a lady has lung cancer, she's never smoked in her life, tunafikiria inatoka wapi? Smoke. Your kitchen haina, tuanze na chimney. Kama jiko yako haina chimney, umeanguka hesabu. Tunafikiria lazima tufikirie mambo ya pesa mingi, inaanza na vitu vidogo. Ile chimney pale kwako kwa nyumba, ndio uhakikishe kwamba hauinhale a lot of smoke. Most of our mothers, they inhale a lot of smoke, and over years they start to develop these cancers. So tunafanya na wakulima na tuna hope to expand this program in the next year, ndio tuhakikishe kwamba tunafanya hivi. Kwa hivyo model ya Aga Khan ya agroecolojia na ambayo tunatarajia tutashikana kufanya pamoja ni ya Green Champions, ambao ni the young youth umetoka TVET, universities, tunaita Green Champions. Tuko na Nutrition Champions na tuko na Blue Champions. Blue Champions ni wale tunafanya kazi nao kule Mombasa, mambo ya mangroves and the ocean. Wale ambao tunafanya kazi nao upande huu tunawaita Green Champions. Alafu kuna Health and Nutrition Champions, because the three are interrelated. If all the soil ambayo mnakubali ikuwe eroded iende kwa ocean, tunaona si levels zikienda juu, si ndio? Kwa hivyo lazima to protect from the top tukienda chini, na hivyo ndio ambayo tunafanya. So pia tunaangalia regenerative farming from the soil, ndio ile chakula ambayo inaenda kwa, tunaanza kwa sahani ya mkulima hata kabla apeleke chakula kwa soko. We want to change the plate, and changing the plate is in quantity and quality and availability, but sustainably. So pia tuko na anchor farmers ambao mambo kazi mingi ya development ni donor based. Kwa hivyo hatuko hapa kila wakati. Kwa hivyo utapata mnafanya project ikiisha ndio kitu inaisha. So we have people we are calling anchor farmers ambao ni kama TOT, ambao who believe in what we are doing na wame transition, kwa sababu agroecology is progressive transition, na mashamba yao wanafanya 100% organic, regenerative kwa mashamba zao, alafu wanafunza wenzao. Kwa hivyo ukipeleka kahawa yake, mwenzake anamuuliza, Kariuki, nini umefanya tofauti? Korahe ndo beboita etahe. So unamwambia ni nini umefanya. Kwa hivyo anakuja kwako, unamfunza na inaendelea. It's knowledge sharing. Na pia tuko na farmer field school ambayo mara nyingi tunafanya demo farms, watu wanafanya demo farms. Lakini prefer kufanya ile farmer field school. Wakulima wanakuja kwa ule mkulima ambaye ameweza, ndio wasome kwa mwenzao. Alafu pia synergies, tunaangalia pengine kama ni KOAN, wale ambao tumejuana wakati huu tumekuwa hapa. Tusirudie mambo kama Aga nafanya X, wewe unafanya Y, mnashikana. Sio kukaa tukirudia, kila mtu anafanya kivi yake. Na ndio maana wakulima saa zingine wanachanganyikiwa, kwa sababu Aga walisema nifanye hivi, KOAN hawajasema nifanye hivyo, wamesema nifanye hivi. Tuangalie vile ambavyo tutafanya synergies ndio tuweze kuhakikisha tunabadilisha. Tuangalie challenges na gaps ambazo ziko kwa agroecology. Kuna access of land, na imetajwa na mwenzangu ambaye alikuwa hapa, productive assets, na pia I think pale kwa policy. Sijaelewa land policy vizuri, lakini ningekuwa uwezo, kuna mahali mashamba haingegeuzwa kuwa ploti. Nafikiri hivyo. Our land is changing to stone. It's very scary. Ukitoka Nairobi ukuje Ruiru, Keno, hata saa hii Kirinyaga ukifika Kutus, hakuna huwezi pata acre. It's only less than an acre. So our land is changing to stone. What are we doing about that? It's very scary. And maybe our policies are clear, I'm not sure. Let me not speak to it. But I think we need to figure that out so that we can, especially where we have food production, tuanze kufikiria in 20 years, where is our food security? tayari tuna import rice, Mwea iko hapa, bado tunanunua mchele nje. We're importing a lot of food. What can we do? And we are hoping to come back to the county to see how we can work with the farmers in Mwea. Na pia kwa mashule, how can we bring it in the curriculum from TVETs to ensure that if we look at it right now, it's almost absent. We need to be very, very intentional. Kwa masomo, mtu akiingia anasema anataka kusoma conventional, anataka kusoma hii nyingine. Nafikiria ni muhimu, sababu tunahitaji zote mbili, ndio to find a balance of the two. And then kuna social ambazo ni mambo ya gender, ambazo tunapata ni unsafe spaces, ambazo unapata pengine wasichana. Na pengine kuna sehemu za Kenya ambazo zimeendelea, lakini kuna zingine ambazo ni bado. Kuhakikisha kwamba vijana, wasichana, wote wanahusishwa kwa mambo haya na wanapea opinion yao kuhusu vile ambavyo tutafanya. Pia tusidharau vijana. They are very smart. Ukiangalia mambo ya AI, ukiangalia mambo ya technology, nafikiria saa hii ukipatia kijana wako simu unamwambia simu yangu ifanye haraka haraka amesota. Wacha tuwa engage kwa haya mambo, tusiwa undervalue. They are very aware, they are very intelligent, wanajua kile ambacho wanataka. Kwa hivyo ndio tuweze kuvuta vijana nyuma kwa ukulima. Lazima tuhakikishe tunawasikiza na tunachukua what they are proposing kama solutions. So what needs to shift, na nimezungumzia, ni mambo ya policy, ni mambo ya elimu, mambo ya finance. Aifikiria tukizungumza tufikirie, is the money going to the right places? Kwa sababu we need to unlock this kind of youth-led market finance, and then market access and the youth knowledge. So tutaendelea kufanya kazi ambayo tunafanya kama Aga-Khan, lakini kwa sababu ya kongamano la siku hizi mbili nimefurahia kujua kuna watu wengi sana Kirinyaga. Nimeshtuka, nitasema ukweli, kwa sababu niliingia tena nikasema, oh my God, all this is happening. I think hatuzungumziani, tunahitaji kuzungumziana ndio tusaidiane. Pengine mimi niko Central Kirinyaga, huko upande ule mwingine tuweze kuzungumziana pia na wakulima. Lakini pia nilifurahia kuona wakulima ambao tumefanya kazi nao hapa, ambao tunanunua miche kwao, ambao kwa sababu tunafanya pia program za miche, tunafanya kitu ambayo inaitwa maendeleo msitu, ambao tunafunza wamama kuzia miche ambao wataweza kuuza. Pia tunafanya microforests kwa mashule, tumefanya over 46 of them. Kama hii picha ambao mnaona hapa, hii ni Kianderi Secondary School, ambapo tumefanya a food microforest na shule. So we've done like 60 of these in Kirinyaga schools. Na pia tunafanya sasa ya mambo ya regenerative farming, water na pia energy. Na hutaji bado niko na muda, sijui kama imeisha, lakini kwa sababu kuonyesha tu video moja hapa ya mkulima. Tubreak wakati wa kuzungumziana sana. I hope nitakubali kucheza. Lakini tuko na site. Wote tu nifunge na jambo la mwisho. Tunasema future ni sahi. Na tunasema, ningependa kusema hivi, the future starts here. It starts with those who are brave enough to trust the land, to trust their roots and to trust each other. Lazima tujiamini, tuamini mashamba yetu ambayo tunajaribu kutengeza, na pia tuamini sisi wenyewe, tusikwe tuna compete, tukue jambo moja. Asanteni.
Really good presentation. Na kitu kingine nilisema, although Samson pia did a good job, ni haya mambo ya Kiswahili. Jana mkubwa wake hata kama tukumwambia ni Susan Otieno. She did a very good Swahili presentation. It's not very easy. Aga Khan, sijui kama ni policy, tunashukuru sana kwa hiyo bidii ya kutumia pia Kiswahili. Ambacho si rahisi. Asante sana. So I want to welcome Eustace Kelly, CEO of KOAN, to come and make his presentation. Hii ya mwisho, tukuwa na maswali machache kwa hawa watatu, kisha tuingie sehemu hiyo ingine ya breakaway. Thank you so much. Karibuni sana wenye waliofika baadaye. Tuko katika kongamano ya First Agroecology Symposium Kirinyaga County. Tulianza jana. Pale nje pia mkipata nafasi, nafikiri mtangaziwa, kuna maonyesho, kuna vitu zinauzwa, na pia as part of this symposium nafikiri wana Kiari na Samuel wataendelea kuwatangazia watu wa KOAN na watu wa ministry wako hapa. Tulisema ni networking. As Samuel was saying, is to take advantage. Uliza maswali, fuata Elizabeth, fuata Samson, uliza maswali, ukienda nyumbani usiende bila kuuliza swali na kujua zaidi. You take advantage ya hii symposium. Asante sana. Welcome.
Asante sana. Hata mimi nitajaribu kuongea Kiswahili. Nitang'ang'ana. Ndio nasikiaga watu wakisema siku hizi. Hamjambo tena. Niko na presentation kidogo ya kuoneshana mawazo ambayo tuko nayo as KOAN, vile tunavyoweza kuanzisha ama kukua na jinsi ya kutenganisha vitu ambazo ni zimekuzwa na agroecology na zile zijakuzwa na agroecology. Sababu mkulima anang'ang'ana sana, anapata ujuzi wa kukuza bila madawa kemikali sumu. Baada ya kukuza akipeleka soko, hakuna njia ya kutofautisha chakula yake na yule mtu amepiga dawa kali. Na tunaona ni vizuri kama tungekuwa na uwezo kwamba yule ambaye amefuatilia the principles za organic anaweza kutofautisha vitu zake zikifika kwa soko. Ndio consumer akienda kwa soko anajua tofauti ya ile imekuzwa na dawa na ile haijakuzwa na dawa. Kwa hivyo jana tuliambiwa na Dr. Uhuru kwamba kuna hii National Agroecological Strategy na implementation yake even sensitize counties kwamba iko haijafanyika. Alafu kuna county governments including Kirinyaga ambao wangependa sana kuendeleza hii maneno ya agroecology and also to develop their own agroecology strategy. Lakini they are missing gaps. Kwanza, hakuna mambo mingi inafanyika on the marketing side. Sana tukiongea agroecology, most of the focus inakuwa kwa ukulima, production. Jinsi ya fulfill the various principles, ni dawa gani naweza kutumia, ni gani hawezi kutumia. Hakuna standards za agroecology ama assistant vile tumesema ya kudifferentiate product ambayo imekuzwa na organic na ile na agroecology na ile haijakuzwa na agroecology ili kutumia dawa. Kwa organic iko na standards. Na baada ya kufuata standards, mkulima anaruhusiwa kutumia an organic method. At the moment kuna hii kilimo hai organic. Ni wangapi wanaijua kilimo hai organic? Naona wengi. The idea is that if you follow the organic standards, then you are allowed to use the mark, the kilimo hai organic mark, so that you can differentiate your product at the marketplace. Consumer akienda kwa soko akiona kilimo hai anajua hii product imekuzwa ina certain way, haijatumia dawa, fulfill principles of organic na the standard requirements. Na kwa hii tumekuwa tukipromote hii mark also through PGS. kutoka jana kuna mtu wa practical action aliongea kuhusu PGS, Samson ameongea kuhusu PGS, na labda kwa wale hawaelewi, nitachukua muda kidogo kuexplain what is this PGS. PGS ni jinsi guarantee system ambayo inaleta group kikundi pamoja, wana agree tutakuwa tunafuata masharti yafuatayo, anaandika. Kama ni organic, kuna ile organic requirements. Kwa agroecology plan ni kwamba tutakuwa na hiyo assessment criteria. Yaani kikundi kina agree pamoja kwamba sisi tutakuwa agroecology ama tutakuza organic, and we will be following these rules, and then there is a system ya kuangaliana including peer reviews, anaenda kuangaliana, kuonyeshana, kuhakikisha kwamba wote wanafuata yale maagizo ama yale wamekubaliana kufuata. It's based on trust, social network and knowledge exchange. Na wote decision ya kusema umefuatilia, it's entirely on the group. There are structures for that. There are committees, inspection committees, certification committees. It's a whole governance structure that ensures that the group meets the requirements. And why PGS? If you look at the way certification works, in most cases it's somebody from outside who comes to check. And in most cases they usually come once per year. And PGS is more participatory, that it also engages consumers, traders, and other actors who are working with these farmers. It reduces bureaucracy and also promotes equity and fairness through the production chain. And PGS are not only local, it's internationally recognized way of certification. In countries, for example, in India, they formed a national government council, PGS. Brazil has also enacted a law that recognizes PGS for certification of organic produce. So we are borrowing from internationally recognized practices. Tofauti zinaweza tofautiana depending on the group, the value chain that we are talking about, but the principles and the key elements remain the same. In our Kenyan context, tuko na National PGS Committee that reviews and approves PGSs. Tumefunza trainers, TOTs, ama experts ambao wanajua how to hold groups to develop these PGSs, to do the assessments. And though there are not many, I have seen a number of them in this symposium. And there is also the process of how the approval is done by the National PGS Committee. Now, there are opportunities of using the two assets that we have, the PGS system and the Kilimo Hai mark. That if we want to help our farmers differentiate their products at the marketplace, we can use the PGS system as a guarantee system. Na tutumie the Kilimo Hai mark as a way of communicating to the consumer that these products have been grown in a different way. And there are also existing tools. Dr. Uru yesterday talked about the TAPE. That is the tool for agroecology performance evaluation that has been developed by FAO. There is another tool that has been developed by BioVision called Farmer Assessment Criteria Tool, FACT. And I will be presenting mawazo yale tuko nayo. The ideas or the plan that we have is to develop our own Kenyan contextualized Kilimo Hai agroecology assessment tool. This is a tool that will be assessing mkulima akisema ni agroecology, amefuata the principles of agroecology. How do you determine amezifuata? So there's this tool that we are going to develop, then use the PGS framework which is already there, and once a farmer is assessed or a group is assessed to have fulfilled those criteria, then they'll be allowed to use Kilimo Hai. This time, our proposal is to have a different shade of Kilimo Hai, which is Kilimo Hai Blue. And that is the proposed mark. Why this and why different from the organic? You see, organic logic is based on organic standards. Agroecology is based on agroecological principles. Agroecology principles, if you look at the TAPE, the assessment tool developed by FAO, inasema mkulima anaweza tumia dawa fulani, lakini there has to be a way of hizi dawa unatumia ni gani. They must not be highly hazardous. Then you must have a plan of moving out of the toxic pesticides. And there is also a requirement of continuous improvement. With organic, it has very clear black and white of the standard requirements, and there are minimum requirements. With agroecology, this requirement for continuous improvement. But these are ideas that we have a way of differentiating agroecological products at the marketplace, and this will also help farmers that ukikuza unang'ang'ana kufanya agroecology alafu ukipeleka soko zinachanganywa na hizi zingine, na tunaona ni vizuri kukuwa na a system ambayo itakuwa ina reward mkulima, also the good feeling that I'm an agroecology farmer, I follow the agroecological principles, and I'm able to sell my products differently at the marketplace. And the whole idea is to increase volumes and diversity of safe products at the marketplace to the consumers, to increase the use of Kilimo Hai by actors, and also provide leadership in the implementation of agroecology policies. Waziri yesterday said, if there is nothing getting to the pocket of the farmer, then the temptations of going back are high. And as part of implementing the agroecology policies, how can we assist farmers differentiate their products at the marketplace? We have some current gaps that we are working on, and this is where we also need to partner with the other organizations, and I'm glad that in this symposium we have been able to bring quite a number. In building capacity of groups and assessors on PGS, and also on the agroecology principles requirements, development of this Kilimo Hai assessment tool, which we intend to do consultatively, and also strengthening of the National PGS Committee to be able to do both organic and agroecology, and lastly, the engagement with off-takers. And in this, we want to target the mass markets, the county markets. Muranga, for example, has dedicated some organic markets, county markets for organic. How can we work with other counties to do the same? How do we bring other off-takers like the hotels, hospitals, schools? We would like also our children to be eating safe food. So those are plans and the ideas that we have. And with that, thank you very much for listening. And I hope that we will walk this journey together. Asante.
So thank you so much to Mr. Kirin for that brief and of course the highlights, and trying to help us to understand also the differences. When we saw the documents, I mean, we want to see at blue level, trying to understand what it is between organics and ecologically grown. I know you try to guide. I think we can follow a bit to understand, particularly when you hear the market end of course, youth engagement, and of course now that kind of, because in the end, as somebody said, this is working together. Now this is initiatives. Of course, Slow Food would like to see what is now this coming up. And of course, Elizabeth is really advocating also for youth, young people, and a lot of energy through other can to engage the young people and see how all this working together as a team. And that's why this symposium then is very useful, that tunakuja pamoja, tunajibizana, tunasema now this is from KOAN initiative, this coming will be becoming more clear, and people will integrate also maybe in their modules or their work some of these initiatives, so that maybe also because the resources are not so much, that KOAN does this, the county can pick some of this, or other can, then we can work together. Tumpigifie CEO makofi tena, that was really good, and also you kept time. Ningeomba wakati huu tutakuwa na maswali, and I'm sure katika notebook there could be this one question swali, lakini ningewasihi wale wanenaji presenters Elizabeth, Samson and the CEO to come over here so that we can be able to respond better. Kujeni na maji ikiwezekana, mambo yakiwa mangumu mtakauka, maswali yakiwa mangumu mtakuwa, so please come over here.
Together the tea factory, together with the farmer, some pertained conservation of environment, and at the factory level there were quotations. And if the farmer and the tea factory was able to do as per the conditions, then their produce at the Mombasa tea auction was to be stamped a mark. I'm talking of standardization. They are internationally recognized standard in so mbaya akinunua atanjua ukiona iko na muhuri ya hii product has been produced in this nini. What is KOAN doing in collaboration with the national government to make sure products which are organically grown, even the buyer is satisfied because he or she is seeing the mark of quality from internationally recognized bodies. Thank you.
I would also like to ask the Director KOAN about a carbon credit, because some of us are avocado farmers and other trees. And we have a lot of trees. So we are cleaning the environment through the trees. So how can we be compensated through the carbon credit fund? Thank you.
We have our panelists here. We have Lawrence Wambu kutoka County Assembly. Is representing Honorable James Wambu Miano, the Chair for Agriculture Committee. Then we have Charles Macharia. Charles Macharia is standing in for John Kariuki, who is the President of the Slow Food Kenya. Then we have Daniel Gitahi, now the Director, Value Chain and Policy Strategist, County of Murang'a. So tuko na team ya nguvu, and I'm sure you'll be able to have a good time, even as they guide us. Unajua sisi bado hatujatengeneza hii policy ya agroecology, so they will be able to guide us as to how we could be able to do it. So I want to welcome the first presenter, Lawrence Wambu, the representative of James Jiro Wambu, ndio aweze kutupatia what he has for us. So karibu Bwana Lawrence.
Good afternoon. As has been introduced, I'm Lawrence Wambu. I'm a principal drug assistant at the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, serving the Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, among others. Today I'm representing the chair who is busy in other engagements. One is to express gratitude for being invited to this symposium, and we appreciate the coordination and facilitation for the leadership in advancing vibrant organic agriculture in Kenya. And since Kirinyaga is an agricultural county, we have as an assembly, our role is to enact legislation that are related to agriculture and others. So our main mandate as a Committee on Agriculture is to oversight the Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries Department in the county government, that is the executive side. We register all the roles that are presented from the department so that they are enacted into law for implementation to enhance agriculture. Also, we review the agricultural laws and budget allocations that are related to the agriculture committee, and then do the monitoring of the county agricultural programs and policies within the county. So in that respect, the Assembly has done various registrations that have been enacted to bridge the gap that has been identified. We have various acts and some are still in the pipeline related to agriculture, and for sure agroecology is very important in this county, and since we don't have a law that is we have enacted, this symposium would be an eye-opener to enable us as a county through the agricultural department to come up with a policy that would assist and guide the rules towards this. Kirinyaga is divided into various ecological zones, from the upper zone, the middle, and the lower zone, whereby we have at the upper zone there is the tea, the middle zone we have coffee and subsistence farming, and the lower zone is mainly horticulture and rice farming. So we need to have to consider all those factors when coming up with the policy to ensure that every group of farmers are considered in that policy. And in that respect, it's very important to involve all the stakeholders who are involved in this farming. And in that case, when we would wish that this policy would address and promote sustainable farming and improve farmers' livelihoods. It will also guide investments in organic agriculture, agroforestry, soil and water conservation. Since there is a lot of water in Kirinyaga, all of it stemming from the mountain. We have the main rivers in this country that are all of them, and there is a need for conservation of all these rivers to ensure that they are used properly for agricultural production. And also it will empower the farmers through training and extension services to access climate resilience practices, then reduce the input costs, and lastly they will enhance food security, which will now bring farmers income and climate resilience. So the policy if the policy is enacted, and I believe this forum would start that process in Kirinyaga, because we don't have one, and we bring on board all the partners to ensure that it is properly done. This policy, its outcome, will strengthen local systems. To bring about the expansion of ecological farming incentives, increase biodiversity and soil fertility, because Kirinyaga soil is very fertile, and if properly harnessed, it will bring more production and more income to the farmers. And also it will reduce reliance on chemical inputs, so that we may go to biochemical inputs. There will be preservation of natural resources for future generations. Our forest cover is not that bad. Right from the forests, the farmers have also been able to plant trees in their farms. So as an assembly and an institution, we are very much dedicated to formulating a strong ecological policy. We also work and ensure we protect the natural resources, which is very important in this county. Strive to empower the local communities and the farmers, and ensure sustainable agriculture for the current and the future generations. Because we should not think of ourselves alone, we should think of the next generations to come. So, our thinking, and I believe it would be the same when we come to formulate the policy, because we said our role as an assembly is to come up with to adopt the policies and enact the enabling legislation. So we need to have a clear roadmap towards that. And in order to get that, we need to identify all the relevant stakeholders. Nobody should be left behind. When we are enacting this policy, we need to have clearly identifiable stakeholders. Then we have conduct stakeholders consultation meetings. Public participation is very important and key. It is anchored in the Constitution, and in that case we cannot avoid doing that. Then we have various sessions and meetings to validate the information and the data that has been collected. Then after that, there will be a technical committee. I believe that should bring all those issues and information into a draft policy, and then consensus building meeting to ensure all that information and everybody who is brought on board, his views are put into consideration. And then that policy now will be approved by the cabinet, and then it will be submitted to the assembly for processing and approval. Because it cannot be put into use until it is approved by the assembly, and in that case we will bring on board the Committee on Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wambu, for that very good and brief and up to the point highlight about the policy. One thing for sure, you can be able to see the commitment of the County Assembly in supporting us while the policy reaches the County Assembly. He has assured us that there will be support. Ni kama tu wanagojea iko wapi waweza kuishughulikia. Of importance, they have even guided us as to how to be able to do it, to have acceptability to the end users. And it should be even for posterity. Then we have to include all the stakeholders. When tuko hapa na wengine wenye hawako hapa, we will be able to include them for validation. So I want to welcome one or two participants with a question or an input so that we can be able to proceed on.
Market our agroecology produces, whether the government can, the market can set aside a place where we can market our
Yeah, that is to be guided by the policy. Yes, the mission.
Yeah, mine is just to ask the chair of the agriculture committee. They'll be guiding the process for the agricultural policy for Kirinyaga. I look towards we will see the success of these when once we get the policy. I think I've had so many policies that not working well. How we ensure that how we have the agriculture policy and indeed to be followed in the same that actually work on the ground. How are we going to ensure that these the farmers?
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for the presentation. Mine is actually two issues, and thank you for highlighting the plan that you have towards developing the county agroecology policy or strategy. So my question would be, what timelines are we talking about? Do we have a plan? Bearing in mind that also policy making sometimes could be is influenced by political processes, so that beyond a certain time it will become a bit difficult for you to pursue or to advance that policy agenda. Secondly, what initiatives have you taken as a county to kickstart this process? Have you considered some benchmarking, visits to other counties that have developed agroecology policies? Have you written to some development partners raising concern that you would want as a county to be supported in developing such policies? I'm saying this because I know some development partners there would be looking for counties to support. But one of the criteria that they use is willingness for counties to go that direction. And that willingness will be shown, for example, by you reaching out to certain counties. I work for Vision Africa Trust, and we are supporting some counties' developments. But among the counties that we have listed are those that have directly reached out to us requiring such support. So have you made any commitments towards establishing or developing an agricultural policy? Thank you so much.
Ya mwisho ulikuwa nayo the last one. This should be the last one.
It's not a question. It's an input and a question actually. My question is, how are you improving their role in the policy making in agroecology? Because of course we'd love to be part of the policy making process and the more
Involvement of the
how
youth.
we go about it here. Yeah.
Involvement of the youth in the policy.
Yes.
So I think we'll have time to handle those.
Okay, thank you so much for those questions. One, I will start by saying that most of these questions are supposed to be directed to the executive side of the county assembly. Because as I started, I said the role of the county assembly is oversight. The oversight what the executive is doing. But in that respect, when it comes to the issue of the fertilizer, they are supposed to allocate funds. And then the assembly approves those funds in the budget so that the farmer may be assisted. In the aspect of in cooperating, that is the CIDP is very important because we have a 5-year plan, that is the CIDP, and it's important all other plans and policies are supposed to be anchored in that document. So for the plan, you have asked about the plan to initiate the policy, agroecology policy. That also supposed to be initiated. We, as the assembly, we are supposed now to push the executive to ensure they initiate, and then we give the necessary support towards that. Awaiting that, when it is completed, that document comes to the assembly for approval. So our main role will be the approval bit of it. But we shall also be working together with the executive to ensure that all the processes and members of the county assembly within the 20 wards of Kirinyaga are involved right from the grassroots. So, but our main bit comes in the approval and now enactment of the enabling legislation to implement that policy. That's when, if it is well done and documented, the role that will be there will guide its implementation and ensure that it will not be just a document to be put on the shelf, but it will be implemented. And also, the oversight role will come in to ensure that the executive does what it's supposed to do. They bring the budget to implement that policy. So that will be our role. And there's also, as the last question was, the issue of the benchmarking is very important to ensure that when the process starts, and even as a committee on agriculture, we will take it up and ensure that we benchmark on all the other counties that have enacted. I've seen Vihiga, Muranga, all those ones, to ensure that we do the best, such that when the executive does its part, the assembly will also be knowledgeable, to have the necessary skills to ensure that what is brought is the right document for the citizen of Kirinyaga. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's clap for him. He have answered in the best way possible, and noting that most of those questions are directed towards the executive. So that is the CEC, the director, the chief officer, and the county staff in charge of agriculture. Thank you so much for those good insights. Now I want to give it to Bwana Macharia to be able to give us what he has for us, so that we can be able to contribute also. Let's clap for Mr. Macharia.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Macharia Charles, and I'm a resident of this county. Before I proceed, Mr. Nini, allow me to tell all the participants seated in this room and who come from my county, we are going to get the best agroecology policy for Kirinyaga County. Reason being, somebody has already pointed out and asked a very valid question like, have we benchmarked? County number 20 is Kirinyaga, 21 is Muranga, and the architect of the policy, the first agroecology policy in this country is seated here with us. I also want to say, as an organization, so Kenya, here in Central, we are coordinating activities in Muranga, Embu, and Kirinyaga. And therefore, because we are integral partners in this journey, I believe we are going to bring forward one of the best agroecology policies in this country. Now, I want to come in and talk so much about Kenya. And people, even outside there, I think have been asking me, what is slow food? But Samson had that question in the session that just. But slow food is an international movement. It is in 163 countries in the world. We have the local chapters, which are defined by geographical boundaries or countries. And this is why we are starting in here for our own nation is Slow Food Kenya. And we want now to partner with the county governments in all over the country so that we also push this agenda on the agroecology. You may ask, like, what is it that Slow Food Kenya would like to see in a comprehensive agroecology policy? One is an organization, we believe that the farmer or the producer is the most important component in any agroecology policy. If you don't look at or address to the farmer, who is the producer, then there is no agroecology policy. You can't do an agroecology policy without the farmer. So we do community engagement at grassroots levels. And at grassroots levels, we work with the communities, educating them, engaging them in meaningful practices like even seed saving, gardening, because if any policy does not create the segment of sustainability, then it means it cannot actually withhold. We also do networking, and we strongly believe in networking. We don't work in silos. And I'm very happy because we have an MOU with the county government of Kirinyaga, Muranga, and every time you come to we go to the farmers, we have the blessings of the county government so that we understand the administrative and other logistical matters that concern the well-being of the farmer. We know there are organizations that come to exploit the farmers. We do not start counting among those kind of people. We address food safety. And when I talk about food safety, it is the main reason why we are also talking about agroecology. How safe is the food that our people are eating? And this is a great concern to me as a resident of this county, because in this county called Kirinyaga, great as it is, we don't have gold, we don't have coal. All our livelihoods for a greater part of our percentage of our people comes from the soil. So our key resource here is water and soil, so that we can actually produce what we are calling safe food. So allow me to state this, that many of the lifestyle diseases that are emerging, the one which is actually of great concern is cancer. But if you look at the genesis of cancer, it's just the way we are producing our food and how we are distributing this food to reach to the consumers. Would you be seated here and you are a farmer like me, and you are in this category of people who produce unsafe food and say, this is not for my family, I'll send it to the market. And then it goes to Nairobi. That is where your own daughter, your own son is studying in Nairobi University and eating tomatoes that have not been produced safely. And you thought because the child is not in your house, then this child is safe. That is denial. So in all manner of the way we produce our food, let us put safety on the forefront. And as an organization, we are working with these farmers, and we are just delighted at how much these farmers are willing to learn and adopt technologies that are geared towards producing safe food. We also work with the schools at a program we call 10,000 Gardens in Africa. And in this program, we know and we establish that working with a child from a tender age, you instill the right attitudes and even the right virtues towards producing food. I'm very happy, and professionally I'm a teacher, that in our country we have the education system that is current, which is actually imparting skills on how our own children may navigate their social problems around themselves when they come of age. If nurtured properly and agroecology is actually integrated, I think we would be the best country in the whole world to ensure that right from a tender age, we have taught our people and we can transition and sustain that kind of food production practice that guarantees safety. So it is the reason we are working with our children. And I'm very saddened by this one fact, that when we go to schools at times, we do random questions to very young kids, and we ask them, where do we grow carrots? You know, kids are very innocent. If you want to connect with the real world, you work with kids. And one will shoot and say, Magunas. Another one will say, Naivas. Another one will say, all right, free. Then you know how these kids are connected to food and the role that their parents are playing. If the kids fail, then we failed many years ago. And the people now to make the reborn, it is not the children, it is we, this generation. And this is why it is very important that we have time and energy in creating this space to address this problem before it can actually go beyond any possibilities of happening. Around the same thing as an organization, we do have something we call the Arc of Taste, which is a catalog that actually is created deliberately to collect and even document all those endangered foods. We came with a banana here which belongs to this county. It's called Gitogo Keiro, Kirinyaga, and it is the red banana. And then I'm very worried when I see an old man, an old folk, coming to our stand and asking, where does this grow? Yet it is native food of Kirinyaga. And it is telling me that this food could have disappeared from the eye of this old folk many years, but the folk doesn't also know that the food is native to Kirinyaga. So we have the Arc of Taste, and we also want to encourage our communities to bring on board all those foods that we scout and find that they're disappearing from our traditional food baskets or food trays, and we bring them back. Then the communities are urged to own the food and actually multiply and share the planting materials. We do have food taste classes. I know when I look at so many of my children who are seated here, when their parents wanted to gift them when they were in school, including my daughter here, they were gifted with a bottle that was tinted orange and was very sweet. Am I right? It's either juice, soda, or anything that is too sugary. But how do you teach your child that porridge is superior, and many times superior, to soda or the artificial concentrate juice? It is through food tastes and education. You have to educate, and then you must deliberately put the food on the table. So as an organization, we have a hub where we work with kids. We call it Organic Kids of Africa. We blend fun with traditional food tastes. And I'm telling you, we started that in 2021. To date, the kids are relatively advanced in age, but every time when we encounter them, they still remind us, when is the Organic Kids Day coming? And on that particular day, you get to capture a moment to tell these kids that today we are going to drink porridge. Then you treat that porridge in all manner to make it very tasteful and pleasant to these kids. And then you get a moment to tell these kids, this is real food, the other one is artificial food. And I want to believe even your own grandchild, today when they are playing mother and father, the mother is cooking spaghetti and pizza to the father. And the father is pretending to be very busy doing politics and also watching cartoons from the phone. Those are the kind of kids that we are teaching today. To make a turnaround, we must deliberately, even in our agroecology program, integrate the segment of teaching young kids. I'm not talking about youth because we also have a segment of youth, but young children are towards that. And because time is not on my side, and we cannot actually deliberate everything that we would like to have in our agroecology policy in a single city, I want to end by talking about the youth and slow food. We have an establishment which is global, and when I say it is global, it is in all 163 member states in the world, called the Slow Food Youth Network. Slow Food Youth Network. And this is a hub that is deliberately put in place by Slow Food Kenya to ensure that we are properly connected to the youth as we prepare the transitioning and transfer of knowledge from the old folk to the coming generation for sustainability of transfer of that kind of knowledge. So we work with the youth, and there are so many areas that they address to, and I'm only delighted when I'm working with the youth to learn that they are so eager to learn, adopt, and practice. But who is there to show the way? This is why old folks like me and you, I start pointing myself. We must start tall and come in handy. We are also the generation between me and Mr. Nyoike here, who saw the better days because we were brought up by our parents through the right way, and we are seeing the spoiled times, and in between we start to be the implementers of the bad times. Therefore, correction has to start from me and the way forward. And the very last one, I don't want to leave this stand without saying that we recognize the cooks. The engineers of what you eat are called cooks. So we have this unit within our organization called the Cooks Alliance. And Cooks Alliance initially used to be called Chefs Alliance, but we found that when you put the word chef, then you are telling my wife or my mother that you are not a chef. That is a career. But anybody who has the trade of preparing food for human consumption is a whole. It's a cook. We bring these people together. And mind you, because we move around this country, and you bring these people together, they have diversity of culinaries that are so rich and that are so good, and that can actually help us evade this element of foreign diets that we don't understand and that are contributing to the bad health that is eating our society. And the last one called Presidia, P-R-E-S-I-D-I, Presidia. I'm now closing my paper because I don't want to be here. I know Mr. Getaki is also very eager to come and start here. It is actually another hub within Slow Food, which now preserves the foods that we have identified from our communities and deliberately getting lost. Then we urge this community to own the food. Seated here yesterday, Dr. Martin Ouru was actually one of the recipients of the the indigenous red banana in a place called Nyamasaria in Kisumu. We actually got a lot of celebrations and celebrations because even the Luos, our fellow cousins from the lake, they have never seen the red banana from Kirinyaga. And that is why we have Presidia. We want to bring on board all that kind of rich stuff to our rich county here through a comprehensive agroecology policy. And we cannot do it by generating it as an organization or as the county alone. We have all together to come together and make it meaningful. that we finally deliver on that. As an organization, we are committed to that. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you so much. Let's clap for Mr. Macharia. When Mr. Macharia says that he is a teacher, he's a real teacher. And it's only that time is not very much on our side. He can talk, and he can be able to talk things that are very encouraging and things that some of people, when they hear, they would not imagine whether they are coming from this world. I don't know, kama Wambui. Have you seen the red banana? Not in the way. So, they come a bit to the but they are our food, and they are good food. Because of time, hold on to that question that you have. Just hold it, so that I may be able to welcome Mr. Gitahi, the engineer of the agroecology policy, so that he can be able to take us to tell us, he can be able to guide us, that when we now come to writing down this policy, how can we be able to make it right, that we do not be able to go wrong. You know, we should not be able to invent the wheel when it is there. So karibu Bwana Gitahi, tuambie maneno ya kusaidia.
Thank you, Wajike. Wajike is an old guy that I worked with when I worked as a district agriculture officer before Kirinyaga was divided into several districts. So I actually ran this county from where up to Kagaita. And you know the market where Kiaga is, there is a warehouse there. I sponsored that warehouse. I talked to the county council there, then the one who passed. These days I pass, I see the warehouse that I helped put from funds loaded for possession, and the land given by the county council, I left that warehouse complete. So I have a long history in Kirinyaga. So my names are Daniel Gitahi. Maybe a few of you know me, others may not have met me. I work for Kirinyaga County Government as a director of policy, external linkages, and strategy. So all my work is to advise the government, and I work across the whole government, not the department that must be for the commission. So I advise the executive, and I also advise what you call the cabinet. Anything that is called strategy. So before I even talk about the issue of policies, it's also good to say that I also engage in a lot of issues. Those who are agricultural practitioners, I act as the National Secretary General, the Kenya Society for Agricultural Professionals. If you have heard of a bill that is in Parliament in the second reading, I am the sponsor that tries to regulate agriculture in Kenya. I've also worked as a special envoy in South Sudan as an advisor to the government of South Sudan on food security matters. So, and that is where I honed my skills in strategy and policy. Because although I'm not a lawyer, I was forced, when you are called by the cabinet to generate a law, and you have been sent by your government to be an advisor to our government, you really know how to do things. So by the time I was leaving South Sudan, I was actually almost like a practicing lawyer, because I had done so many documents, legal documents that were going to the cabinet. When I came back, I think the governor then appointed me to run special duties. Although I'm a trained agronomist, but I don't do any agronomy much. I deal more with the industry, strategy, and consultancy work. And I consult both in private sector and in government, because I think there are about almost 10 county governments that are called to talk to the executive on the need for food system transformation. So how did food system transformation come about? I remember sometimes could be about 20 years, there was an initiative when I was still the Secretary General. By the way, I've been a Secretary General for the longest time now, because I'm always elected without opposition. So there was an initiative to start an organic policy by KOAN, and I was central to it as I was still the Secretary General. And I remember there was a lot of frustration. So I'm touching on that to see how we came to be a leader in Murang'a in agroecology. Because based from that, when I left the United Nations, because I was working at the United Nations to advise South Sudan, I was employed at the UNDP as an advisor to the government of South Sudan and an IGAD program. I decided there is something I could do for Murang'a, and that is how Murang'a became a front runner in agroecology. And you know what? It is actually a global sensation because it is redefining the way the group is thinking. In the last conference of parties, agroecology was actually recognized as a pathway for addressing climate change. And so what is happening? Everybody wants to learn from Murang'a. Yeah, I think in November I've been in Milan addressing the mayors of the major cities in the globe on why they need to go to the system. Like in December I was in Cuba addressing countries of South-South. So you can see what we are trying to emphasize is not just a problem that we started trying to solve in Murang'a, but it has been a long-standing problem, but people refused to accept that we had a problem. So as I was working in Murang'a, I identified a number of farmers in Kangema, because I wanted to give you a small history so that you can appreciate why food system is necessary. I identified a small group in Kangema. I was the director, and I asked them to register a cooperative for organic coffee. Because I'd been talking to my governor, because funny enough, when I was a director, my own governor gave me a letter, which is very unprocedural, to be an advisor. I'm a civil servant, but I'm appointed as an advisor on climate matters. So I go to Kangema and tell these farmers, your coffee yields are very low because they were giving 3 kilos. And they were asking for subsidized fertilizer, like I had my friend ask for fertilizer. And I told them, I cannot tell the government to give you fertilizer. Because your problem is not fertilizers. It is a problem with your soils. Even if you pump in and out, because having been a scientist, and some of these people know that I've been a researcher before, I've developed the only tropical sugar beet in the world that has made India become also a leader in sugar industry. But in Kenya, I've tried to present those papers to the national government. And at one time, I remember I got an investor willing to give 10 billion to start a sugar beet industry, which never happened. But that, if you Google, you'll see the work that I done for 10 years to develop materials of sugar. Based on that, I had done a lot of soil sampling and analysis out of my own interest. Sometimes I fund my own research, sometimes I talk to donors, and I realized that we have a real issue that the governments were not able to get funded. That our soils were actually wasting our own money as we pumped in more fertilizers. And I had realized that we have something called phosphorus toxicity that ensures that how much fertilizer you apply, about 30–40% get lost in the soils. So I told these farmers, we are going to do organic. And you know what? For the first time, coffee yields jumped to from 3 kilos, they were able to get up to 12 kilos from the samples that we did the farmers. The whole world was like, it was a fire. People wanted to know what is happening. People have harvested 12 kilos. So what happened, I allowed them to register a pumping station. They were given a license, but siasa tena ikaharibu wakagongwa na the mother cooperative. But you know, they influenced government because for the first time again, the government decided that is going to give subsidized manure, not fertilizer, manure to farmers. we actually decided that all we needed to give is not fertilizer, but we get manure from Narok, and ensure our farmers are using, coffee farmers are using manure. In essence, we are trying to solve a problem that people did not understand. And based on that, I decided I'm going to write an advisory document, so I did a cabinet memo. Gave it to my CC to present to the cabinet. A scientific paper, it was presented. That is what made them to use to do the manure. And it is the genesis for the agroecology policy, which is a food system transformation modeling. Fast move forward, our assembly was very cooperative. But getting people to understand why food systems was an appeal, yeah, I didn't have disciples. So I had to mentor a few disciples because I was actually called to the problem to explain whether we are not going to stop using conventional fertilizers and what will that amount to in terms of food security. And good enough, the good Lord gave me nice words like the wisdom of Solomon. I collected data on health data, and that is what I took the assessment. I had statistics on the progression of non-communicable diseases in the county and how much we are spending on non-communicable diseases, something we could prevent from food. I think by the time I left the assembly was convinced we actually have a problem, and we actually spending too much money in health that we can actually reduce. We only made our communities aware that they are not eating healthy. So that is the genesis of the agroecology food system movement in Muranga, and fast forward, the policy is enacted. I mean, it's passed through, and the following month before the event the assembly was closed, 2017. We cannot wind up this assembly, that is the speaker himself, unless you bring the law, because you want to make sure that you are well contained by the time we solve this assembly. So within 2 weeks, I sat on my table, drafted the law, took it very fast. Kimishwa consultation. Kakuja assembly, a week before they wind up, we have a law. So that law made sensation in Kenya, and I think the next step was there was committees in the Kilimo House trying to discuss what Muranga is doing, and I was called to assist the national government do what is now called the National Agricultural Strategy for Food System Transformation. So with a committee of about 13 directors from Kilimo House, we sat down to start ideating on how the national government could have a policy on agroecology, and we decided we don't need a policy because we have the Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture.
Breakaway, sorry. Very good. Good. Any other moderator? No, I think that was the reporters. There was one missing. Amos and Kafuta. Who was your reporter? The two of you. So when you do the reporting on breast fingers, Amos also. Very good. So I would like money for coffee. There's nothing much we can do now, but we want to clap for you. Wapigie makofi mazuri. Haya makofi sio mazuri. So wapigeni they have done a good job. You know, we pushed them too much on very hard topics, but they really did a good job. Wapigeni makofi mazuri. Thank you so much. And I think nikitaka tu in one sentence as a moderator, please say something, George.
Mimi kushukuru kwa kuweza kuhudhuria kongamano hili, na pia next time I think hatukumaliza, tukiwaalika tukuje na marafiki. Asante.
Thank you. I was moderating IPM, Integrated Pest Management, and mine is that we keep the dialogue going forward. We could not have exhausted everything, but good discussion took place, and we look forward for more of such.
Thank you. I was moderating on policy, and I thank God that the discussion has just begun, and we are going to see much more of this so that we can be able to guide the process going forward. Thank you.
Asante. Nilikuwa tuna moderate mambo ya soko na value chain. Langu ni kusema tumesema soko haiko Nairobi. Soko iko Kirinyaga. Kwa hivyo tuitengeneze hapa Kirinyaga.
I think I'll ask the moderators to sit down. Thank you so much for the good job that you've done. Really appreciate it. Now, these all the rapporteurs, the people who are taking notes. Unfortunately, we wanted to really take. Yeah, we start with the big man here.
Okay, thank you. My name is Bernard from KOAN. So I was in two groups, one for IPM and standardization. So from IPM, from the discussions, what we say is that the farmers will implement the IPM calendar, that they are using all the organic practices available before they transition to chemicals. We also found out that the suppliers of organic pesticides have solutions to all the challenges that we are facing. So it is for you as the farmer to go meet them in the tents, get their contacts. They have the solutions for the pests and the diseases. The number one challenge for the standards was on the cost, but the speakers told us the many ways that you can reduce the cost of certification in terms of coming together as farmers, having a cooperative. It reduces the cost. There are some international donors who also support farmers that are doing certification for organic, and that the certification bodies themselves have incentives for the farmer groups that in their compliance they perform very well. So as a group, if you do very well in the organic practices and in the requirements of the standard, they can actually reduce the costs for you. There was a lot that was talked about. I would encourage you to go to the tents where all these service providers are. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Amos Okor. I am with the KOAN Kenya. I am a programs intern at KOAN Kenya, and I was a rapporteur on soil healthy and soil nutrition. Sorry, I mean my notes are co-occurs. So from my session, we had a discussion about minimum tillage, whereby the farmers and the moderators really encourage the farmers and give them recommendations that the farmers should minimize soil tillage to minimize soil exposure so that you can be able to maintain the moisture and the soil cover. And also the key issue that came out was about the importance of the calcium element in the plants. We see that from the area we are tomato farmers, and mostly they are affected by the disease of blossom end rot. So calcium being an important nutrient, the farmers who are given the recommendations on how to deal with the issue, such as doing irrigation. The other thing which came out was about the values of the bees in agroecology, in which is that the bees are the major pollinators and they are the bioindicators when there is contamination in our farms and in the environment. To go to another, I was also in another session. Sorry, it was impromptu. So the other session was about agroecology information and dissemination to the farmers. 'em. And from the discussions, they were, the farmers and the moderators, they really encourage the farmers and the farmers to go to the tents where all these service providers are. Thank you. we had a discussion on the methods of disseminating agroecological information, in which through the youths and how the youth can bridge the gap of information in agroecology. Also, it was recommended to the farmers that through the exchange visits and the documentation of their success stories, and through using projects such as KOAN, which is implemented by Parent Kenya, and the other KOAN multipliers, the information about agroecology will be able to get to the farmers. And about time, in time running out, time you hand over to the colleague.
Good afternoon. Bwana asifiwe. Uko nyuma asifiwe tena. Yes, we are in a agroecology forum, and this is the way of life. I was in a panel, I was a rapporteur in the policy support and the interventions. The panelists were Lawrence Wambua, the chairman of the County Assembly, Kirinyaga County, Charles Masharia, Slow Food Kenya Board. Then we had Daniel Gitai, Dr. Daniel Gitai, Director of Policy, Murang'a County. Yeah, the key discussions was how the County Assembly promised that to enact and their key roles was to enact and regulate policies in agriculture, livestock and policies, oversight, and also helps in the review of agricultural laws and policies. They are planning to have a policy addressing, to come up with a sustainable agriculture for livelihood, and in this will help in reducing reliance of chemicals and also preservation of natural resources for the future generation. The other issue raised was about food safety and The other issue was raised was about food safety and involvement of school gardens, pupils to nurture pupils on how to produce food. Some of the recommendations done that there will be a benchmarking where the officers will benchmark the neighboring counties to learn from what has been done. Then they will also borrow from the National Agroecology Strategy for Food Systems. We have the strategy on board, and they will also borrow from that strategy. Then mapping of relevant and like-minded stakeholders and organizations who are in this space of agroecology. Then there is conducting public participation, where farmers now will give their views. Action plan, resource mobilization to support the implementation and also coming up with the policy, the agroecology policy, and also mapping of stakeholders promoting agroecology within the Kirinyaga County. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Let's give a hand clap to this.
To come and join us. First, starting with the farmers. Mkulima kuacha mambo zake kuja hapa siku mbili, si kujitolea. Let's appreciate them. The next group, the partners that we have been working with, those who have contributed in terms of ideas, the ones who are moderating, the ones who are giving the experiences in terms of presentation, and also the ones that supported this symposium to be. We already had an idea, but this idea, when we shared it with other partners, they brought the idea and we put together this symposium. Tuwashukuru kwa kuwapigia makofi. I may not name all of them. I think there was already something, but still appreciated. The other group I want to appreciate are the exhibitors. These are companies, farmers, anybody who exhibited and came and exhibited their products so that we could learn that these products exist, what they do, and that they could be reached, that farmers can have alternative products for their pest and disease management. And we hata kuna zingine madawa za kukunywa za binadamu. Let's appreciate all the exhibitors. There was a committee that was organizing this event together with the county government, for the partners, and for us in that committee to bring all these people yesterday and today, it's not an easy thing, and I want to say thank you. Let us appreciate them. We say thank you, and hoping that even next time when we're organizing this, we are going to be together. It's a journey that we are starting, and from the opening remarks yesterday, we had this idea of having a multi-stakeholder forum, and Vasily picked it up, and the discussion that we had after that, including this morning in terms of the next steps. That is one of the things that we felt that it is important to have stakeholders meeting. And stakeholder, Kirinyaga Agroecology Stakeholders, multi-stakeholders platform. And the idea is that this will be at the county, because it will be at the county, Waziri will talk about it as part of the next steps and the action plan that we are discussing yesterday. And for me to say that the next step for us is that we are going to put all the materials that we've gotten from you, all the recommendations, the questions, the issues that we feel are priority for Kirinyaga County, and also all the feedback that we got from the discussions. We're going to put it together in a report and we'll share this with all of us, and from there, speaking to each other. There's a lot that is happening in the county, and in most cases we operate in silos. And I think it's time from here we start a journey of talking to each other. There are many things that maybe as KOAN we are doing, and another organization is doing, and we could have combined efforts and did it better and reached more people. So it's I would encourage all of us that from now on we have gotten contacts from the people who have participated in this, and hoping that moving forward that we will be engaging each other. Let's know what and invite the chief officer. Thank you very much.
I want to thank all of you for what you have contributed today, what you have contributed in the past, and what you contribute into the future. So thank you so much, very most appreciated, and I hope that we have just started, we continue with the journey into the future, and we contribute. So thank you so much. With those few words, Karibu Chief, who said already matatu.
I'm very humbled and very impressed by the works I've seen when we are going round. I've just realized that we have the solution for most of the problems that we have.
To sit together and to discuss about life. You know, sometimes tunasema tunaongea vitu mingi, but we are discussing about our own life. How can we be able to have sustainable life that is good, that is healthy? Because mimea yetu ikikuwa mzuri, hata maisha yetu yanakuwa nini? Yanakuwa mzuri. Somebody say that we are as good as what we take. We take poison, mili yetu inakaa namna gani? Inakaa kama poison, eh? Tukikula chakula, what we are feeding other people and what we are feeding ourselves. So we're so much concerned about that. And I keep on repeating, we need to be very careful so that we can make sure that we don't raise the agricultural medical bill by what we are practicing. And I also say we are not condemning pesticides. They are good. We are not condemning fertilizer or any other agricultural inputs. But we are saying we want to have safe use. And where possible, we use what can be biodegradable.
we reduce the traces level in our produce to the levels that are acceptable. Tusikue ati tunatengeneza vizuri ile tunapelekea mzungu, lakini ile tunakula hapa mimi sijali, ama ile napeleka Nairobi hiyo sijali, nakuwa na kashamba kadogo kando, hiyo ndio watoto wangu na mimi. Alafu wale watoto wangu washakuwa kubwa wameenda Nairobi, unaweza wapelekea sura. Let us be courteous, let us look at these things and we walk this journey. It's not a journey of one day, it's a journey that you started earlier. With our farmers, we are happy. Wakulima tunashukuru kwa hii njia ambayo mmeshikana, mmetembea na washikadau tofauti. Unaona dawa mzuri ya kuuzia dudu, lakini hatujui kemikali ambazo ziko hapo ni ngapi. Tusaidia wakulima wetu, and we are going to work on that. Those are some of the things we are saying we are going to move around with it and see how far can we be able to do this. Out of what we have been discussing, I want to thank the organizers. I was able to be briefed in the morning by the CEO of KOAN of the key outcomes of what has been discussed through. And we have summarized this thing in 3 forms. The very number one is what we had here earlier. That is establishment of an agroecological stakeholder forum. And when we say agroecological stakeholder forum, what do we mean here? We are saying we have about 4 stakeholders. Number one, we have government, who is simply, county government, who is simply a custodian of public goods in terms of extension and other service provision to agriculture. Number 2, we have community as a second stakeholder. And community organization here, we are saying self-help groups, cooperatives, CBOs, common interest groups that are registered. This one we are considering them as also a stakeholder. Number 3, we have non-state actors. We have KOAN, our friend here. We had KOAN here. We had quite a number of them who have joined us in this. These are non-state actors and they are key stakeholders. And number 4, we have state departments and entities. We have CARO, KFIS, they are our good friends, they work with us in this business of extension. So the forum that we want to establish need to bring these 4 people together. And therefore we are saying within a period that KOAN and the other guys we are putting together your symposium report, you will propose, we look at that. So that the very first thing is how do we onboard these stakeholders? How do we say that you are a stakeholder and you onboard the organization? We first of all have to identify you as a key stakeholder in agriculture working with the county. There is a procedure for that. Then that procedure takes maximum of 14 days. Just a maximum of 14 days. If you are fast enough, 7 days, we are done with you. And I think that's what we have done with KOAN and the others who are here, and we are working together with a very good relationship. Taking cognizance of your objectives and taking cognizance of what county wants to achieve. And we are saying this work did not start here. It started quite sometimes. Until now we are here. But from here we want to clearly map out where are we headed to, what are the deliverables. Number 1, we want to look at the national documents which are talking into the field of this agroecological. Which documents are there? Do we have strategies? Do we have policies? Najua zinakuja ya majina mingi. Hiyo makaratasi inakuja na majina mingi sana. Ingine inaandikwa inaitwa session paper. Ingine inaandikwa inaitwa nini? Policy. Ingine wanaandika wanasema ni act, sheria. Hii yote iko na majina mingi, tuangalie, tuone. Because we don't have to sit in Kirinyaga and start to create a new, yet we are part of one national government. So we look at that one, we see what is there, what can be domesticated in Kirinyaga. we domesticate it and we say, this is the policy that we are having. And this is something we can be able to do with our partners. We organize for that. It's a key area in terms of that roadmap. Once we have come up with that one, we shall develop what we are referring to as County Agroecological 5-year strategy. We don't want 2 years. Regime comes, regime goes, but government is there, public is there. So we set out a 5-year plan that is continuous. Within that 5-year plan, we shall extract a 2-year rolling work plan. That work plan is what is going to tell us when are we having joint field events, when are we having joint symposium, when are we having different joint activities as a partners in this particular field. As we are doing that one, we are fully conscious that different partners have different activities they have planned in the organization in terms of promotion of agroecological practices, organic farming practices. Those ones we still encourage. In our roadmap, we will make sure that that one is there to make sure that we keep encouraging doing of that, talking about it, having shows about it, so that as we are doing this documentation work, as we are cementing this roadmap, work is still ongoing. So those are the few remarks I wanted to make, and that is the direction that we want to take from here. So as we go home, let us know that we have started a journey, and as a county government, we want again to reiterate our commitment that we shall make sure that this one is clear and can be followed, not only for us, but for the coming generation. We don't do it for us, we do it for prosperity. So we want to thank you once again. We want to wish you all the best. Let us grow organic, let us live good life, let us take care of the other person's life. Wakulima tumekubaliana hiyo? Najua nimeongea kizungu mingi sana. Ndio hao wako hapa mbele wasikie. Hawa wanapenda kizungu. Lakini sisi tunaelewa. Tulime kilimo hai, si ndio? Chakula ambayo mimi mwenyewe nikikula inanifaa, na itafaa mtoto wangu ambaye yuko mbali, ili maisha yetu iweze kuendelea vizuri. Na zile ambazo vitu ambazo tunavumbua za kuendeleza hii kilimo hai pia zikuwe zinakubalika na serikali. Tutafanya kazi na mashirika ya serikali ambayo yeko na hiyo ruhusa ya ku make sure that those things are registered, so that when you go to sell nobody follows you na anakuambia wewe unauza sumu. Nimeona product hapa ya kitu inatusumbua sana, na ambayo inaua kwa mkono. Ile inanisumbua huko kwa mchele. Sirali kia hiyo. Na nimesikia mtu yuko nayo hapa. Lakini nikaangalia kabuyu akana lebo. Dawa niko nayo lakini kabuyu akana nini? Akana lebo. Sasa sijui naambia mkulima ni nini hii. Lakini mwambie nataka kuongea na wao ili tuweze kusaidiana. Ipelekwe katika maabara, iangaliwe, we take them to Gulf chemist, we take it to KEBS, they check, they support them. Because solutions are amongst us. Wakulima wa mchele wanalia juu kwa mkono. Na kakibuyu kiko na nini? Lakini ingekuwa na jina singekuwa rahisi sana. Hata ningepiga picha nianze kutuma kwa mtandao. Watu waanze kujua, waanze kuwatafuta. You can imagine when you have that product, how many farmers will benefit from that? Sindio? Tufanye kazi kwa bidii, tulishe nchi yetu. Hakuna mahali tunategemea kuja kutulisha, ni sisi wenyewe. Vijana ni wachache, naona vijana ni wachache hapa. Watu wa rika yangu naona ni wengi. Ni vizuri we also encourage what? Young people to join this thing. Kwa haya machache, nawafikishia salamu za gavana, mwende kwa salama. Mungu awabariki. Asanteni sana.
Tulianza na maombi, tulikuwa tumalize na maombi, na nilimwita dada yetu hapa atufungie na maombi na aombee yale tumepanga, tukienda safari zetu. Mungu atufikishe vizuri salama. I wish you well. God bless you. Now let's keep in touch.
God, for we prayed for a good start, and you have granted us, Jehovah God, all our hearty desires. We thank you for everybody who have contributed to this symposium, and we pray that God may the knowledge that come above the Jehovah God, that all the deliberation that has been made, that they will not be in vain, but we put them into consideration in our farming practices. We pray, Jehovah God, that all the action plan that has been put in place for this symposium, that Jehovah God, all the partners, Jehovah God, will come together for the betterment, not only for Kirinyaga County, but for our country. Now, dear Lord, as we come to the end of this symposium, we thank you and we glorify your holy name. We pray, Jehovah God, for each one of us, as we depart to our places, as we depart, Jehovah God, we are going to use means, we are going to use our vehicles. We pray, Jehovah God, for safe journey masses. We pray, Jehovah God, as we break even for our weekends, as we travel to our families. Oh dear God, may you grant us safety. We pray, Jehovah God, even for everybody who have contributed finances for this congregation. May you continue blessing them. Lord, we have something to eat after this. We pray that you may bless it and cleanse it. And it is Jesus' name we do pray and believe. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Asanteni sana.
No chemical, you don't worry. Kila kitu fresh, organic, live longer, stronger, happier, yeah, natural, you know lifestyle. Kilimo what? Kilimo I, kilimo what? Kilimo high, kilimo high, uleta uhai, kila mtu akiwa fit to fry. Team natural food fresh, iko fine, niko fiti, yani strong na inatai.